me and Ryan have been officially welcomed to the jungle that is Barstool Sports.
I brought it toward the Coyotes, and I asked them if it was okay if I joined the Spittin Chiclets podcast full time.
Ryan Whitney's got a pink Whitney out there now.
Hey, this is a sandbagger. Get that on camera.
Heath Yandel, the song man, is a full-time member.
Marley just got an assist from Chris Beach.
Whoa, we're buzzing right now. Sonk.
What is up, folks? Happy Halloween. Welcome to episode 592 of the Spittin Chiclets podcast. We got RA's World. We got Jay Rosehill, but we got a new presenting sponsor as well, and that's Discover. Sponsored by Discover, we're the luckiest men on earth, the official credit card of the NHL. No matter if your team wins or loses, Discover is there for you with cash back on all your post-game purchases. With the Discover It card, you earn cash back on every purchase, so celebratory wings just got even better. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Cash back on team gear, cash back on tickets, cash back on fries, etc. The Discover NHL Winter Classic is taking place on January 2nd, 2026 in Miami, Florida. Tune into TNT. Get cash back on every purchase with the Discover It card. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Biz, you've done work.
We just one episode of RA's World, and now we're getting sponsored by Discover. Not a big deal. Hello, everybody.
Hey, figure it out. Figure it out. Discover said you bring RA back in the fold. We'll hop on win with you guys. What a pleasure.
Yeah. Oh, and they're awesome to work with. I've been fortunate enough where when we do those Winter Classic or live events, they have like a kind of like where all the fans can go gather. And I've done a few like autograph picture sessions, and they're just first class, so easy to work with. Everybody's always in a good mood. So looking forward to continuing that. And of course, making them our new presenting sponsor of our Friday show. So this is, we're moving on up, moving on up.
Pope John Paul, Biz Nasty.
Yep. Yeah, we got our Halloween costumes on right now for you people listening. So I'm Pope John Paul III, or the 67th, because the last time we won the cup. And we got Batman.
Are you Shrek? Are you like haunted Shrek?
I think it's just like a, I don't know, what are those called?
Frankenstein,
yeah. Well, funny story, when I was getting this, you guys didn't watch Jersey Shore, right?
I watched a little bit of it.
But the guy Danny, who owned the Shore store, who owned the house that they lived in, he was working at the costume shop. He owns like a bunch of Spirit Halloweens pop-up shops during the thing. He's a huge Montreal Canadiens fan, so I was chatting with him. He actually told me to dress up as a clown with a Leafs jersey to be Biz.
Yeah. Original.
But I said no, I wasn't going to do that. But he's a huge fan of the show, and it was good to see him.
Do you know this guy who was on the local news in Florida, who did a silly, he decorated his front yard Halloween stuff, and he had like the Tampa Bay Lightning that had what do you call those? When someone dies, they got the
tombstone.
The tombstone. And then they had
that was actually
casket.
my yard. That was my yard. I just had somebody else do it. Yeah.
And then they had a Biz Idiot with the ambassador jacket and the Leafs tie. And a tombstone along with that. So I thought that was pretty creative. I retweeted it. It was a local news station that picked that one up. And well, I thought I'd just bring it up because it's Halloween.
Yeah. Halloween's always fun with the kids. We'll be bombing around tonight. We'll be just looking to collect candy. We got one of those. We got the 8 a.m. game in Salem, New Hampshire, the morning after Halloween. That's
brutal.
You know, when coaches and they look at the schedule at the beginning of the year and they kind of mark down like what are going to be some probable L's. That's a probable L right there.
That's L.
And I think the team's like 10-0 that we're playing. So but whatever. Hey, Halloween night, kids will be crushing candy, and we'll be having candy on the way to the rink. Sometimes it gives them energy. So,
and the fact that I believe Game 6 of the World Series is also on Halloween night. So
this is amazing, Biz. I'm not going to say it. Baseball City.
Yeah.
But they're looking good right now, buddy.
They are. I'm not gonna pump them too hard. I'm just gonna stay even keel. That's what you have to do in these types of situations. Business as usual. Job's not finished. But very proud of the way they responded. That 18-inning game, stayed up the whole time to watch that. That was fucking insane. I read a stat too. It was on Twitter. Was it Kenny Chesney or one of the other artists who sang the anthem of that game?
Brad Paisley.
It's Brad Paisley. He sang 4 World Series anthems, and every single one of them have went to extra innings, and 2 of them have both went to 18 innings, which have tied the record for longest World Series game. So that's kind of a wacky stat. But the fact that they lose that one in heartbreak fashion and then respond by winning 2 more on the road, just bonkers. And then to open up game 5 with back-to-back jacks on the first 2 pitches against one of the best pitchers in baseball, or at least from this year, just remarkable. So if they do not close out on Friday, when I'm in Ottawa with Tom Green doing his podcast, I am flying on Saturday afternoon to Toronto, and I will be at Game 7.
Is that, Keith, is that like good or bad for the...
Shut the fuck up. What? They had the Vladdy wore Matthews jersey, okay? You said that why would you do that?
I'm rooting for the Jays, dude.
Yeah, I know, but you're trying to do what you did last pod with that stupid fucking face again.
I got a fucking Batman mask on my face. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
are you saying Batman's stupid?
Yeah, you should have wore the fucking Joker costume.
You got hands like a priest on the golf course.
Even keel? What happened to you being even keel? You just came unhinged.
I ain't on the fucking team.
Oh, okay.
I'm playing fucking cleanup with this fucking bum ass right here.
We need it to go to 7. We need it to go to 7.
I know, because Biz might get on the broad. Biz, what will you wear to the game? Game 7? Jersey?
A sweater with a bow on it?
No, I will have no memorabilia on, probably a Spittin Chiclets hat, and I'm just gonna stay even keel and neutral. I don't want to be, and then if they pull it off, I'm gonna be on the field fucking buck naked.
Okay.
I mean, that's gonna be a
baby
night.
blues. Those jerseys are silk. Those baby blue jerseys are unreal.
I like the white ones the best, personally.
Yeah, but for the road, I like those ones better than, because they have darker ones too, right? For the road games.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that was not the only thing going crazy online this week. The Internet Invitational was dropped, and I would say that's the biggest thing in golf in a long time. Even bigger than the Ryder Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all Barstool people, and it was big, but you're bringing in people and brands that have millions of followers into this, I don't know how you would describe it, like a heavenly place in the Ozarks, Big Cedar Lodge, like unbelievable spot. I'd love to go back at some point. And there was one story from the first episode. The first episode, G says, has 3.2 million views. So that's in 48 hours. We can't really spoil much, but the first episode's been out. And Luke Kwon was the storyline. Luke Kwon. So for backstory here, this guy was like, I guess he's an incredible golfer. Not I guess, he is an incredible golfer. He's won on the PGA Tour China, which is kind of like the minor leagues of the PGA Tour a little bit, I think, and played at Oklahoma. And he was the first pick, and he was paired with a good buddy of ours, PFT Commenter, one of the co-hosts of Pardon My Take, the biggest sports podcast on earth. And PFT's not very good. He's like a 22 handicap, so we put him for the scramble with, well, not we, Bob. Bob Does was our captain. They put them together, and it was kind of like, hey, we probably won't, everyone's thinking, we probably won't use many of PFT's shots, if any, and this guy, Kwonzo, can win the match himself. Well, he slept through his tee time. And I've never seen somebody who made a mistake with less remorse in my life. And it wasn't about sleeping through. It was like, sleeping through is one thing. And if you show up, it was also a 9:30 tee time. If you sleep through a tee time and you're kind of letting teammates down and you bomb up there and you're, guys, I'm so sorry. I am so like sick to your stomach. And you can tell when someone's genuinely like, feeling really bad about what they've done. I think the whole squad would be like, that's all right, dude. Like, just go get him. Like, do what you can. And this guy shows up and he didn't give a flying fuck. He started chirping his partner, PFT, who's been grinding out there alone against two good golfers.
Well, and PFT asked him for a read, and he's like, well, it's over here, but it doesn't matter. You're not going to make it. And he's just like, how about some positive reinforcement here? Like, and PFT had a good putt, and Kwon misread it. So another L. And then you go to the next hole, and now Kwon was talking all this smack the night before, like, we're not even going to need to use one of your shots. And so now they're down 4 because he got sussied for 4 holes. Well, the first shot he ends up taking, PFT was closer than him on the par 3. So he wasn't even bringing his end of the fucking bargain.
And
so
the next hole, PFT's approach shot was the one they used. So just one of those things where, and I'm going to be open and honest. I was giving it to this guy. I was disgusted. It was all about how he reacted. I was like, this guy is like a legit asshole. Like he could care less. And he's chirping one of our buddies who's his partner. And so I'm giving it to him. And it's just like looking back on it, like he just didn't seem like a very good guy. I don't know what else you're supposed to say.
You said what everybody was thinking. What you did was 100% in the right. Like everyone was thinking what you were going to say. You just happened to be I don't think you came off as like a dickhead or anything.
I don't even care. I mean,
it's a team. At the end of the day, we were a team trying to win fucking $330,000 a guy. And he screwed people out of that money, and you told him how it was because he's never been a part of a team like we have. Like, if that happened in an NHL locker room, you don't think fucking Sid would?
I feel like golfers have a little bit of a different mentality. I think that Roan had a live stream. It was yesterday or the day before, and he kind of touched on it where some of the golfers, in my opinion, do come off as a little bit pompous. And it's just like they were never, in a hockey locker room, you do that, you're going to get put in your place pretty soon.
Quickly.
And Gans just touched on it. Like, there was $1.7 million in prize money up for grabs. So the first round of matches, I believe the score was 8-4, as opposed to if they would have won that guaranteed match 7-5, which is a lot more manageable. And I'm not going to give away how it ends up finishing off, but you can sewer half of the field because it was cut in half. And essentially he sewered half the field because we ended up being down 8-4 after the first round of matches. So the lack of remorse was on top of sleeping in, and then the insulting of the partner just really added fuel to the fire. And I think, as you know, Whit, you touched, and Jans, you touched, I think that you had every right to kind of say what everybody was feeling. Some people had the opinion that they, like, Barstool and the edit blew it out of proportion. I really don't think it did. I think what it did is it taught somebody a lesson in real time, and eventually the court of public opinion kind of took over, and that's
I don't even think, like, I still don't think this guy gets it. Like, he released like an Instagram thing. He's like, yeah, I said sorry to Portnoy and Bob Does and the guys there. I didn't want to sleep in. It's like, buddy, it wasn't even really about the sleep in, dude.
No.
It was the actions after the sleep in. And you know what? Like, there was like hundreds of other, maybe not hundreds, but a lot of other people who really wanted to play in that were reaching out to Bob Does and reaching out to Foreplay and
Kirk.
And like, he obviously like didn't care. And then I see comments like, oh, I love seeing Luke Kwon not taking a Barstool thing seriously. Fuck them. It's like, okay, so dude, you're telling me you're happy that he's like making a mockery of a Barstool production when in actuality he's kind of like screwing over 23 other teammates, a lot of whom like that money is completely life-changing for.
Oh yeah.
So just just not a good teammate at all. But it's very well done. They're 3 hours and like 30 minutes, all the episodes, but I enjoyed the first one.
And there's some people who don't follow Barstool or Bob Does. They're going to be splitting the videos between Bob Does had the first one, then Foreplay is going to get the second one, and then it's going to rotate back and forth. And I believe the last one is going to be released on a brand new YouTube channel. That's the Internet Invitational, because I would imagine with the response to this video, and some people were like, oh, why are you starting out the pod with this? Well, this thing in just over 24 hours has 3.2 million views. So I would imagine by the time a week goes by, it's probably close to 5 million. This is one of the biggest things to happen to internet YouTube golf, maybe ever. So that's why we're leading off the show, and hopefully some of you who do like the golf stuff, it directs you towards there if you have not watched this. So awesome experience. I want to thank Bob Does and the Foreplay guys. Like, my match wasn't even shown because much like the Kwon PFT match, me and Gruden were sacrificial lamb. I played against this Brad Delkey guy. He played in the Masters. I've never seen someone outside of maybe Dustin Johnson one drive at Gauzer. I'd never seen anybody hit a golf ball like that. It was mesmerizing.
Seeing him play that like on the range, like hit balls. It's like, I think this guy like has to give it another go, like playing
Agreed.
professional golf. Like watching on the range, there's a lot of very good golfers there that and people are standing around watching them, kind of in awe. But Biz, I was a little upset that you and Gruden, which I imagine was a great group to be hanging out together, there wasn't more shown. I kind of wanted to see some more content with you two guys. Gruden's
Biz,
the
the
biggest
second
legend.
match. Second match was me and you versus the Duke.
Duke and Josh Richards. I had a blast playing
It
with
was
the
so
Duke. Was an
fun. The
absolute
Duke was the
character.
man.
Josh Richards is the man. And then it did suck that I didn't get to watch me and Gruden, because there was a lot of me just asking about his football experiences and all these like legendary stories where I was asking like, what's the craziest situation that you've been a part of on the football field? I had no idea that he was involved in the tuck rule. He got fucked by the tuck
he
rule.
was in the snow in New England. It started the dynasty, baby.
Yep.
So if I know that it wasn't shown, but if there's anything I could get in return, it's the fact that not only do we get to maybe do a sandbagger with Gruden, but get to get him for a sit-down interview, because talk about an all-time storyteller and having been part of the football world for so long, and his ability to absorb and articulate all these moments that he's been through, I would say second to none. And I would put him as top 3 best hires that Dave Portnoy has ever hired.
Yeah,
at Barstool
he's
Sports.
amazing.
Incredible
he's a great
human.
hire. And G made a good point here that maybe if we ask Barstool, they'll let us put on the Chiclets YouTube all the footage of you two guys in the cart that day, because they have all of it on the backlog. So maybe that would work.
Yeah,
But,
that, or we get to get him again for another golf match. And then also he sent you that wonderful care package. So I think that's it for golf. So check that out. And it was an awesome experience. And shout out to 4Play, Barstool, and Bob Does for throwing all that on.
Yeah, so Tuesday night, we had every team in the league playing, which is awesome, right? They got the staggered starts. I saw RA tweet about that. That's a big, big hit. Every game, just 15-minute difference. And you could kind of catch the ends of all these games if they're close. I thought it was a success. Now, I do have one issue. I got home from practice with Ryder and was kind of all fired up to turn it on. I thought it was like, 6 to 10. It ended at like 7:30. I was like, wait, what? Or maybe 8? But all of a sudden it was over. So then it was just a normal night of getting on ESPN Plus and whatever channel the games are on and kind of trying to find all different games. But I thought they would have it on ESPN2 or ESPN for 4 hours, right? Where you're just going around every game. But I think they only did an hour and a half, maybe a little bit more. Kind of think it should have been a little longer. I don't know if that was noise out there as well, but some great games, dude. I mean, we saw some hatred between the Flyers and Penguins at the end of that
Old
game.
school.
Need that.
Old school. And I think Achari, if he had gotten to Zegras, he might have killed him. Zegras went down and I kind of give the kid credit. Just, that Penguins Flyers rivalry, close game, end of the game, it's going to a shootout. He goes down and Achari's on the ground and just rips his helmet off. Achari got up like a legit bull at the running of, what is that? The running of the bulls in Spain. So he wasn't able to get to him. Thank God for Zegras, but a great game there. And Crosby, people were saying he left the bench. Biz, you got a 10-gamer for that. But
I got a 10-gamer reduced to 3 games, thankfully. It would have cost me $70,000, ended up costing me $11,000. I would have had a nervous breakdown if it would have cost me 70 stacks. But
overall, great night of hockey. And I know Caufield with another overtime goal.
Set the record for the Montreal Canadiens. I know that you're like, that wasn't a thing back then. If it was, Gretzky would have had fucking 50 3-on-3 goals because he was that good. Probably wouldn't be a record in itself because of all the greats who have played for the Montreal Canadiens. I don't think we need to downplay this. Cole Caufield is very young in his career. There was also a stat, I believe I sent it over to the group on how many games it, maybe G can pull that one up. But definitely a remarkable start for Cole Caufield and making his bid for the Olympic team, as this Montreal team continues to be very, very exciting to watch. A lot of overtime games, pushing it to the limits. The other takeaway, Connor Bedard, first career NHL hat trick.
And all 3 goals were incredible. Thank you. Were incredible goals. Sorry
Was
about
that Batwoman?
That was Batwoman. She was kind of looking to jump Batman's bones too. Middle of the show. Thanks, baby.
Don't get
Sorry,
a
I'm
boner
working
in that
right now.
suit.
I'm working right now, sweetie. But snipes. And then he actually added an assist as well. And Chicago climbing the ranks of fun teams to watch. Barstool Chief, a great fan, a great guy who's been down in the dumps for a long time now. He's all in on this team. He loves, and it is very true how the attitude has changed completely in Chicago. And I think that Blashill, who Coop talked about a lot, I think he makes a big difference there. Obviously, something has changed. That Rinzel on D is an awesome player. We've talked about Nazar, but Bedard has reached a different level. He looks phenomenal, and it's great. And I saw a couple tweets where it seems like every night Celebrini does something great. A lot of Twitter talks about, oh, he's so much better than Bedard. He's so much better than Bedard. It's like they weren't the same draft. Now, maybe being from Vancouver area is part of it, but let's just enjoy the fact that they're both awesome, right? They're both incredible players, and Bedard is he's a different player right now. Those goals were out of control. Perfect mug for Halifax.
Confidence, compete. Just like you could tell he's got his juice. Oh, I like the mug there, Whit. Very, very on brand, very on theme.
Yeah.
And like the way he's playing, you got to think that maybe at some point, maybe he's getting Team Canada consideration, right? Like they got
sure.
I would say for the youth movement, him or Celebrini, I would guess one of them ends up getting on the squad. So, I don't know if there was any other major takeaways from the Frozen Frenzy other than Minnesota is struggling here out of the gate, boys.
Yeah.
Not great so far. Faber was struggling, had a big game last game. I think he was put on the power play and had
last
some
two games. He's had a couple big nights. He was really struggling. He had 3 assists and then a goal and an assist. So that's good. And you know what was cool? He sat in front of the media and he really took ownership of his own game. And he was kind of disgusted with his own play. And I like seeing that, right? Like that takes a lot. I mean, I know maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion a little bit, but you're standing up there and you're like, I have not been good enough. And that's kind of when the contract maybe messes with guys a little bit, where you're thinking about it and then you're struggling. You're like, I'm not living up to the contract. And I'm kind of speaking from personal experience here, but good to see him bounce back. And there was an article in The Athletic, Billy G, he met with the leadership and more talk about like, what do we need to do? What really needs to happen in Minnesota is their kind of straw that stirs the drink, I think, is Zuccarello. They need him back, right? Like they need him back in the fold. And once he's back, I'm not too worried about Minnie. It's early enough. Not really worried about any teams that we considered would be good right now that aren't playing great, but definitely wanted to get off to a better start.
They're in the Central. Like that division is going to be an absolute grind all season.
Yeah.
It's going to be it's going to be a gauntlet, as they say. And
I also think they gotta take the reins off of Z Bouillon too. Like he's playing 15 minutes a game as like a guy who's coming, like all the hype around him coming out of college is like he's gonna provide offense. And as a young stud D-man, like you got to play more than that to get confidence and get feels on the puck. And like he's been doing a good job on the power play. I know they put Faber out there to get him going a little bit too, but they got to give him a little bit more minutes out there, spread the minutes out. Like Boldy and Carilla playing 22 minutes a night. Like they got to find a way to spread the love around a little bit with that whole team, because riding 2 guys up front is not going to help. Zook too, you said, I played with him. One of the best teammates, just he's so good at keeping it light when, things might not, be in the best position. So even times like this, them losing a little bit, not having him in the locker room, being out there in practice, keeping things loose, keeping things fun, it kills them right now. But when he comes back and Bouillon starts getting a few more minutes, I think they'll be fine.
Final things from the Frozen Frenzy. Wild game in Denver. Colorado went up 5-0 against Pasha's Devils. All of a sudden, it's 5-4. They end up winning 8-4. It was very entertaining to watch. Just high-flying teams, a lot of offense. And then Edmonton, Darnell, they're down 2-0 quick to Utah. They make it 2-2. Darnell, the first 2 goals against, it was insane. And then they go down 3-2 when Skinner misplaced the puck behind the net. But they end up winning that game 6-3, so hopefully Edmonton goes on a run. But a cool night. When every team plays, it's pretty interesting and fun to follow along. So hopefully Frozen Frenzy next year, the actual broadcast of it is longer. The big news, I think, is the signings, guys. Some studs, some absolute studs. So the biggest one, I think, Colorado and Martin Necas, right? 8-year deal, 11.5. I think very fair for both sides. Front loaded. He's got $60 million in signing bonuses and a full no move clause the first 7 years of the new deal that will start next season, obviously. So there was a little bit of worry of what he would end up wanting, and you got to get him in the fold and all signed up once you didn't get Rantanen. And so I think that guy's going to fit in there perfectly for a long time. Now, all the questions kind of will be asked come playoff time, but I think Avs fans are fired up for that signing, Biz.
Oh, big time. I think that, who knows what the actual real information is. It seems like Rantanen's crew was at 13 and a half, and we're staying firm there. So I think with a little bit more youthful, obviously that speed that he possesses and how he's able to match it with Nate and has that chemistry, to get him, for the 8-year deal at essentially $2 million cheaper, if that was the number, I think that's great. I think it takes a little bit of pressure off Necas, not coming off as greedy. Fans will probably give him a little bit of leniency in that regard. But I think that's an incredible number for both sides. And, I think that the playoff performance is yet to be judged. I don't think we've seen like true Necas come playoff time where he's buzzing around and looks like he is at his peak. That is yet to be determined, but I couldn't be happier for the guy and fits in perfectly. It justifies the trade now, in my opinion.
Yes.
It does, and as regretful as it probably felt in Game 7 against Dallas last year, I think Lyles did touch on it. It's not like he kind of set us on fire. I think 2 of the goals he said what he said about him. The one was obviously an absolute missile, but I think it puts a little less salt in the wound on losing Rantanen for sure.
And I think for him too, it's like, you get 8 more years to play with one of the greatest players to ever play. Sign me up. He's going to get 30, 40 goals a year. By the end of that contract, guys who are scoring 30 to 40 goals are going to be making $15 million. So he'll be a bargain by the end. I mean, it's a good deal right now, but I think it's a huge signing for them. Does it not feel like, I remember playing against Necas in Carolina, like he was obviously a great player. I don't remember him being this fast. Like, is it him trying to keep up with Nate, or like it just seems like he has a different gear?
I think it was the team and the way they play. Now, Carolina's a very quick team, so maybe I'm wrong there, but maybe their system, right? Yeah. They didn't really let him like freewheel.
Running gun, yeah.
Now, Hurricanes fans may tell me I'm crazy, and basically if you talk to Carolina fans, they'll say that you'll see 10 games of him with 15 points, and it's like the best player in the league, and then the next 10 games you don't notice him. I don't know if Colorado fans have seen any of the inconsistency yet, but when he's on, and I think the way Colorado plays fits his game personally way better.
I think that people would also say the same thing about Rantanen. Maybe not as much inconsistency, but I also think as far as the speed, they do a lot of the Necas is allowed to swing down, and then either the defenseman or other forward will like access the red line, maybe get closer to the blue line, and then drop it back. So from the stylistic and system standpoint, he's able to build speed more and play more into his favor. He also is probably getting to the peak of his strength, right?
True.
I think he just turned 26 years old, and it goes back to they get a little bit more youthful where they give him the 8-year deal. Rantanen's 29, right? So I feel like you're getting a cheaper value with him, and you're getting more prime years. So it's there's a lot to factor in, but definitely inconsistency is a word that surrounds Necas with his play.
And talking about Rantanen, thoughts and prayers for Ethan Frank. Did you see this kid try to hit Rantanen?
Yeah.
If you're wondering why he's called the Moose, I mean, he's like going pretty fast and just runs into Rantanen's back and was leaving the game like he had a broken sternum. It was like, oh my God, like Rantanen. And I saw Rantanen off the ice at the Four Nations. We're talking 6'5", 240. I think maybe 230, but
he looks like a tight end.
He looks like Gronk, like just a house of a human. So Ethan Frank, good job trying to get in there, but oh my God, next time just maybe a stick check on that guy. poor guy was going off wounded. I hate seeing that.
And with the next one, I mean, it goes back to kind of the Bedard discussion, right? The next contract that was signed. And I think that we should probably, as a podcast, get a slight percentage of that deal for getting it over the goal line.
Yeah, we
I
did.
really wish that Ryan Smith he could have just broke that news with us right then. I heard it was done before we even had him on for the interview.
He was gonna, but G kicked him off.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he was about to tell us.
Yeah. No, it was Witt
Logan
who fucking
Cooley.
peasant tossed him. Still working
8
out the
years
kinks.
times $10 million.
Nice bridge deal.
I mean, how do you not love that contract? I mean, you've seen this kid so far this year. He's made a step last year from the year before, already a bigger step this year. The team's humming along, and you're telling me in 6 years that kid's still making $10 million bucks? It's like, I think it's an amazing contract. He's got $80 million. The kid's set for life. He's going to sign another monster deal at some point. The team's laughing. They got him locked up. Now I think they're looking towards Schwartz, and then what he wants, what he's going to expect. It's a little different. He's UFA.
Schmaltzy?
Yeah, Schmaltzy. Oh, what did I say? Sorry.
Schwartz, but yeah, I get it because the guy's in Seattle. There's a Schwartz,
I'm in a Batman
Schmaltzy's,
costume.
Samsonite. It's right here in the briefcase. But great deal. Like, I mean, that's why I said, like, I wonder like what Bedard get. I feel like if you're a GM and you're seeing what you see from both players, like, who would you rather sign if it was the same amount of money? Like, who would you want, right? So
Bedard in my mind.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I think the shot, goal scoring. That's a good question. But I'd rather side Bedard. If I'm Chicago, I'm going to Bedard. I'm like, maybe start at 11.5, then you go to 12. And do you think he's just like, no?
I don't know, but that's why I
8.
say that, because like I feel like they have like they're basically neck and neck, and that's why I'm saying it's such a good deal. Is like all of a sudden you get the 8 times 10, where I get that he's got that first overall aura and all that. I just I think that fuck man, are you going to have to overpay because of that? And they got a lot of guys who
I think Cooley's got more help around him too, right? Like Bedard's kind of on an island by himself.
That's
like
fair.
Cooley's got some studs around. He's more of a playmaker, I would say, than Bedard, a pure goal scorer. But they're both going to be getting paid in the shade.
I mean,
interesting.
Yeah, Cooley, he had more goals than him last year. Bedard had 2 more than him their rookie year, and this year Cooley's got 8 and Bedard has 6. So I guess looking at the numbers, it's not that different, Biz.
That's why I just threw out that comp, because I know it just sometimes with that first overall and that aura and that all the attention surrounding him. I agree with you. I think that the way that he started out, if he continues as such by the summertime, it's going to be 8 times 12.5, 13, and he's going to have them by the balls. But at what point are you like, oh my God, we're just overpaying for that, as opposed to this kid down the road, he's fucking 8 times 10 and he's doing the same shit. So like, what's the comp? So
yeah.
And congrats
also,
to him.
But Bedard has a little more leverage, I feel like, based on kind
he's
of
the
what
face
Keith
of the
said.
franchise.
I don't agree with that, because Clayton Keller is coming due for contract. Schmaltzy's coming due for contract. Like, they don't have those guys locked in yet. So I don't necessarily agree with that either, but sometimes we get in the weeds on these contract discussions. I don't want to take away from the fact that we're happy about him and this guy earned every goddamn cent, and a Pittsburgh kid getting that much fucking dough is like basically
he's going to buy Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he's going to buy he's going to
Pirates, yeah.
Keller only has 2 more years after this year. Yeah. Huh.
He's going to become due for money. I think Schmaltzy's up at the end of this year. So a little bit of work to do to keep that group together, but a hell of a start with him and Gunther and the chemistry that they've developed. And then, of course, Peterka. So they got him locked in as well. So for at least the next 6 years, those 3 will be playing together.
And the last one,
big one in Dallas.
Big one. We got Thomas Harley, who has been a machine since he came into the league. 8-year extension, 10.59 per year. So, I mean, he had 16 goals last year.
Yeah.
Finished 7th in Norris Trophy voting. He's the 4th highest paid defenseman in the NHL starting next season, making, I think it's over $2 million more per year than Heiskanen. But it's kind of come to the point where he's their power play guy a little more than Heiskanen.
He's got more points so far to start the year with, and every time that Heiskanen's gone down with injury, he's been the guy they've counted on, and that to me is why he deserves the money. And if I'm the agent, I'm saying, hey, it's not like they're playing together and his play's going down when he's out of the lineup. It's kind of like the Malkin Crosby. Remember when Crosby would go down and Malkin would say, okay, team, hop on.
Yep.
And, he's relied on in every situation. He's unreal with the puck. He's good defensively. He's got a long body, long stick. And this just goes back to Dallas and their drafting. Like, this guy was an 18th overall pick, and they just can't fucking miss, man. So he came on the scene a few years back where I want to say he played maybe even less than half the games that year, maybe only like 20 regular season, and then he played in playoffs, and people were like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
and then the last 2 years he's done what he's done, including with the absence of Heiskanen, what was it, towards the end of last regular season and partway through playoffs.
Yeah, he missed Four Nations.
And Four Nations, so he's the guy, and I think that he's worth every penny of that deal.
So Dallas has they got Rantanen signed long-term, they got Hintz signed long-term, they got Wyatt Johnson long-term, Matt Duchene's got 3 more years after this year, Heiskanen 3 more years after this year, Esa Lindell 4 more years after this year, Harley with a long-term deal. So their core signed. Now the question being, Jason Robertson, he'll be an RFA after this season.
He's fucking lighting it up to start the year too. So what do you do?
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't really see the money there for him unless he would be willing to take a pretty big discount. Maybe I'm wrong based on the cap numbers going up.
I think with what you just saw Nate just get, he's probably saying, I'm in Dallas, no state tax. I think that he could fairly ask for 8 times 10. That's look at his numbers, and look at his numbers when in playoffs, and like when they go dry in some certain cases, he'll be the only guy, and they got 17 million in cap space for next season. I have said this though, and Dallas fans will defend him to the death. And that's why I say, is he a guy that I want in the foxhole trying to win a Stanley Cup? I don't know. He's not the fastest guy. He's not the most aggressive guy, but somehow in those times when they need goal scoring, he's the one guy providing it. So,
well, when Hintz is playing, right? Hintz makes a big difference for him, I
True.
think.
Agreed. But what are you paying him? Do you believe he's a foxhole guy in Dallas?
I love his game as I think he wins a Stanley Cup when he's like the 3rd best forward on your team. Like
and he would be getting paid like what?
Like a
second best?
Behind Mikko.
I
I just think with like his name has been talked about so much in trades that I feel like guys like that their names are always floated around, always end up getting traded. So I honestly don't see him staying there.
I think that you could, if you could do like a sign and swap somehow, I think that there's other areas of their game they could address where they could still be as relevant as they are if they're able to get enough back. I agree with you, Jans, and also not have to pay one guy 10, 11, 12. I don't know what he's asking for. I would imagine it's not much less than 10 million.
Yep.
No, and he deserves it.
What's his points per game over his career? What's his playoffs points per game?
Robertson's numbers, I actually looked when this outline came because they are pretty ridiculous, dude. Like
I bet you he's close to a point per game player.
56 playoff games, he's got 44 points.
And I mean, his last year, 80 points. The year before that, 80 points. The year before that, 109. The year before that, 79. And then basically his first year, his rookie year, was 45 points at 51 games. So this year, 9 points in 10 games. He is a legitimate point per game player.
He's over a point per game. He's got 403 and 384 played throughout his career. He's a 2-time 40-goal scorer. If you count the 29-goal year, he's fucking hit 34 times in the last 4 years. So
he's getting over 10.
He's getting over 10. So I don't know what happens with Jason Robertson.
I know, but Dallas is one of those, just a really solid team, off to a pretty good start. They will be right in the mix come May. Everyone knows it.
Dallas fans, I thought that they would be maybe in limbo this year. I wasn't sure what we were going to see from Dallas. If anything, a little bit critical. Knew they were going to make playoffs, but don't scare me like years past. Those are the times where sometimes teams like that fly under the radar, and if they make the right moves, who knows? But Ottinger's playing great, and so is the team. And they got Jamie Benn coming back soon.
Yep. Matt Barzal may have pulled a Luke Kwon and slept through his alarm, because he's going to be a healthy scratch this evening. Thursday night, I guess Patrick Waugh said he missed a team meeting, and showed up late to the rink. And that's kind of ballsy move by the coach. I don't know if it's ballsy move, actually, but it's more like, hey, I don't really care who it is on this team. You show up late to the rink. You ain't playing that night. What do you think? Biz, you don't like it?
So I get setting the precedent and setting the example. To me, if it's a guy that makes that big of a difference, I would actually handle this with any guy, even if it was a fourth liner. I would make a little bit light of it, and I would, in the meeting, say, I better see your fucking best game of the year, and get the boys fired up around it, and kind of create a little bit of morale. I feel like they've been so exciting to watch. They've had a great start. The fan base is engaged. Listen, if they can go out there and win that game without him, and you set that example, I think that's also positive. But I don't, and maybe he pulled him in and said, hey, listen, buddy, I don't want to do this, but I got to set the example. I just personally would have spun it a different way and said, you're starting tonight. You're reading the fucking lineup card. Let's have a chuckle, but you better be fucking going. You better be fucking shooting lightning bolts out of your ass. You better be setting up Schaefer back door. You better have three primary assists, skating your dick off out there tonight.
Yeah, I think because at the end of the day, it obviously could have stayed in-house, right? Like, no one could have known that he was late for the meeting or whatever. But, I mean, good for Patty Waugh, I guess, setting the precedence for the team. Like, hey, we're not going to be fucking late for meetings and all that shit. But, I mean, Barzy seems like a kid that, loves being at the rink, loves being, playing in the NHL. Like, you hate that he's getting punished like that, but at the end of the day, if you're late, you're going to miss a game.
I think that if this happened with the other 31 teams where, one of your top 2-3 players slept in, I don't think this is the response that happens around the league. Like, you know what I mean? I think more often than not, it would be what Biz is saying. Maybe, hey, you owe a team dinner. This happens again, you ain't fucking playing. But you better play your balls off tonight. And Waugh went the other direction. So yeah, I don't think this would have been the case on a lot of teams with their best player. I don't. So it is a little bit of an old school mentality by Patrick Waugh, but it's kind of one of those things. Like, I think if I show these guys, if I'll do it to him, nobody is safe from getting scratched by being.
I kind of hope they get shelled.
The only other thought process behind it is, okay, we're playing against Carolina. I believe Carolina's at home, so one of the best home teams in the league.
So we're losing anyways?
No, not we're losing anyway. It's more of like, oh, maybe they'll let their guard down with this information, and it'll make everybody on our team amplify their play, knowing we're missing our best guy, and maybe they can sneak one out. And if you do, and you set the example, and you beat Carolina, that's such a momentum swing for your team. But once again, I would not have handled it like that. I would have made light of it and said, you better be our best player. And
imagine if they win, and then he's
what if they go on a 10-game heater?
Hey, he's like, can't change the winning lineup. Sorry, Barzy.
And right now, I mean, they are technically last in their division right now, but everybody's so tight. They win, and they have one game in hand on Washington. So if they win back-to-back games, all of a sudden they're in the top 4 of the division. So that division's very tight right now. So, I mean, we can move on, but a little pee-pee whack for Matty Barzal.
Yeah, and Brad Marchand, guys, did something pretty cool in a horrible situation. He's taking a leave of absence from the Panthers to coach the Halifax Max U18 game. It's a game celebrating the life of Selah Panache McCallum, daughter of Marchand Mill Company Hunters Hockey head coach JP McCallum and Mara Panache. JP's a trainer and very, very close friend of Marchie, and there's a GoFund set up as well. But good for Marchand. I mean, like to help out a friend going through the worst thing that any parent could ever go through. It's just says a lot about him and a lot about the Panthers too, for understanding where he's coming from, wanting to be up there for his friend going through just an absolutely horrible thing. So thinking of that family and good for Brad Marchand to do that, stepping up, helping a buddy. Biz, the Leafs, they got thumped by Columbus on Wednesday night. So we're going to bring in a guy right now who covers the Leafs and also fought Biz a few times. This is Jay Rosehill, a great
put my
guy.
contact in. I don't even wear contacts. I don't know if you guys have seen that photo. I'm going to pull it up right now, Whit, and show you. But yeah, not ideal. Leafs are not playing great hockey. The Blue Jays being on and then also beating the Dodgers in handily fashion was best case scenario for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Nobody gives a flying fuck about the Leafs right now. They probably had less viewership than an ECHL game last night, given the circumstances. But we talk about it with Rosie. They're still finding their identity. It's going to take time to figure out and plug some holes in. And I'm going to find you that picture.
You
quickly.
said it, Biz. They start off this way every year. You're not
Every
worried.
year.
You're not worried till Christmas.
Not worried. The other thing too is they have a home and home against who is it? Pittsburgh?
Jersey, right?
No, I believe
Pittsburgh.
they got a home and this is going to be their third home and home this year. They did Detroit, then they did Buffalo, and then now they're doing the Penguins. So maybe that's fucking them up.
And that's
I'm not
the
an
Monday
excuse
night.
guy.
That's the prime game and the big Monday night hockey game, November 3rd. We got the Penguins versus the Leafs. It's on Monday. It's on prime. And Pittsburgh, incredible start to the season. Evgeny Malkin has turned back the clock. Crosby never disappoints. They're flying along, doing way better than everyone expected, including me. And the Penguins right now are considered a wagon. And the Leafs, they got to get back on track. They got to figure out how they have to play. No Marner. They got to start getting wins. They got to start figuring things out. Can Toronto get it going? Pittsburgh, Toronto. Prime Monday Night Hockey is available free to Prime members in Canada. Start your free trial at primevideo.com. For the full Prime Monday Night Hockey schedule, visit primevideo.com/NHL.
And Whit, one last question for you. Are the Pittsburgh Penguins a playoff team?
No, but I'm really starting to kind of change my mind a little bit. I'm not saying yes yet, but if we come Christmas time and they still look like this, I might have to switch I mean, Malkin's a machine. Brazeau can't stop scoring, and Crosby's an all-time legend. So we'll see.
Amazon Prime Monday night. Be there.
I'm going to be there on
Nice.
Monday. I can't
Love
wait,
it.
man. I'm going to bring Oldie in, actually. So we talk about, the Leafs, they need some morale. I'm going to send him to the Harinaka line before they go out onto the ice, right before warm-up or before the game. I don't know when they're going to allow it, but he's going to be in that tunnel.
They're not going to allow anything. You're not on the team.
What are you talking about?
You can't just send your friends into the Harry Knuckles lines.
They wanted me fucking reading the lineup card to the boys, and I said, let's not pull out that just yet. I said, let's send Oldie in, and he'll sprinkle some morale in that hallway before the boys go for either warm up before the game. Hey Willie, let's get those legs moving tonight. Hey Austin,
busy.
Hey, get that type A fucking meat and potatoes. Maybe bury a couple. And I'm going to send Oldie in, and I think that Amazon might even air him in the tunnel live for like 30 seconds.
Like a thong on. He's
Oh,
doing a
yeah.
split.
I think he's going to have Willie tank top on.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So that's going to be a blast. And this is the picture that I'm referring to it when me and Rosie fought. Probably my best
holy.
NHL fight. And I have so much respect for Rosie as a player. And that was a game where his team was down 3-0. So we were at home against the Philadelphia Flyers. We're up 3-0. And off the face-off, Rosie asked me to go. I said, no, I'm not giving momentum away. And Tip always made sure to come down and said, how do you talk? How do you talk, Jens?
Hey, you think you want to go out there and fight tonight? You better fucking wait till we're down a fucking goal, eh, Biz?
Yeah, Tip. I won't be going out there starting anything when we got all the
Hey, you
momentum,
fucking
I
better
promise.
not, all right? You fucking better not. You better set up some rookie parties, though.
Oh, yeah. You better be doing that. Make sure you're out there busting the ox cord out busy and warming up, and then don't touch the fucking puck. Just don't touch. If the puck comes near you, just get the
Touch
fuck
the
off the
ox,
ice,
not
all right?
the puck.
Make sure that gate's open for the boys. But anyway, so we're up 3-0. Rosie wants to fight me to get the boys sparked up on their bench. And I said, hey, can't do it. Coach said no. And he goes, I know, but he goes, I got to come over and ask you, but just know if you don't, I'm going to be running at some of your guys. Well, sure enough, the next shift, he takes a big run at Donor.
Oh.
And I want to say there was only one other time someone took a run at Donor, and it was James Wisniewski elbowed him and
I was
KO'd
in that
him.
game.
Yeah, and I got my head punched in because of it.
Wiz
yeah,
was
even
tough as
Yans went
shit.
over. And then I fought
mean
George
even
Peros the
Yans?
next shift. What's that?
What do you mean even Yans?
I'm saying, like, you weren't known as a fighter. You fucking went right over for Donor. I respect the fuck out of you for
It's our guy.
That's why you're the Hulkster slash what do we
Frankenstein.
call that? Frankenstein.
Frankenhulk.
And so I look at Tip and he goes, all right, go on. And then fucking we fought right off the draw. And then that was one of the plays that ended up happening in the midst of that fight. I would say my funnest fight as a Coyote, because I was doing it not only for the right reasons, but we had a sold out barn that night and the fans were loving it just as much. So he almost took my eye out. But without further ado, Jay Rosehill, enjoy.
Guys, before we go any further, I want to talk about Jackpocket. Jackpocket makes the lottery stupid easy. We're talking Mega Millions, Powerball, state lottery games, and even scratch-offs. You can order them all right from your phone. No lines, no hassle. Mega Millions and Powerball jackpots are climbing, which is why we partnered with Jackpocket so you can get in on it too. New customers get $5 in lottery credits today. Just opt in and use code PUCK2, PUCK2 at sign up. Jackpocket is America's #1 lottery app. Guys, we want to talk about DraftKings. Hockey is back. It's ripping. It's going. And this season, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, brings you all the speed, skill, and nonstop action that we all love in the game of hockey. DraftKings Sportsbook delivers the unmatched intensity of the NHL right to your fingertips. From player props to the thrill of live in-game betting, every drop of the puck is your shot to win big. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get paid out $300 in bonus bets instantly. Light the lamp all season long with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Chiclets. That's code Chiclets, CHICLETS, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. We welcome on now a great guy, tough as nails, former NHL player, straight out of Olds, Alberta.
Yeah.
7th round pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning 23 years ago. Jay Rosehill, what's going on, buddy?
Boys, thanks for having me. You guys are looking sharp. I didn't get the memo. I feel out of place.
I know. We probably should have told you. We got the pod right after this that you're going to be on. I can't believe you haven't been on yet. A shame on us. Long time overdue here, but what's going on, buddy? Like, how are you doing these days? I know a lot of Leafs coverage. Kind of explain to everyone listening
He looks
what
like
you're
he's
into
dressed
right now.
as fucking Bradley Cooper. This guy's a stallion.
Yeah, he does.
Fuck me. Yeah, I comb my hair with a piece of salami in the morning and away we go. But I'm doing good. Yeah, you mentioned doing some media stuff for on the Leafs, I guess, and following your guys' lead, the Trailblazers here. But that with some coaching of some young kids, firefighter as well now, and things are good, man. Things are good.
You're a full-time fireman?
Yeah, I am. I'm off right now. I fucked myself up in the summer behind a boat and tore my pectoral tendon off the bone. So I'm healing up right now. But I've been one for just about 7 years now, actually, and it's pretty awesome gig, boys. I gotta admit, I was thinking about doing it after. I think we did like a team building trip when I was in Toronto and went up to a fire hall, dicked around with all their equipment. They're in a fuselage on fire and cutting cars up using their trucks. But it was afterwards, we're having lunch with these guys and just right away, our team and their guys, and we're all bullshitting and chirping and just having a laugh. And I'm just like, you guys are at work right now? Is it like seriously? So that got the wheels going, I guess. And then, Calgary opened up after being closed for a while as far as taking on new recruits. And I threw my name into the hat and it was perfect timing. As soon as I retired, I jumped on board and it's been awesome.
So your home base right now is in Calgary then?
Just north of Calgary. My town's Olds, Alberta, as Whit mentioned. And I just commute into Calgary. It's less than an hour. So it's pretty slick.
So you're living back home where you grew up. Wow.
Yeah.
What's it like living and growing up in a town of I think it was said 9,200 people.
Yeah, is that what it is? It's good, man. Like the people all my buddies that I grew up with are still here. Everyone left for one reason or another, but everybody came back. And we're all raising kids. We're at the hockey rink. You're walking down the street and buddy's garage is open. You go in and have a beer. Like, I'm hosting Halloween tomorrow. We'll have the Jays game on a projector on the driveway, and the kids just leave, and I don't know what they're doing, and they're gone all day. And we have a group chat. It's like, whoever's house my kid is at, like, to make sure he's not dead, or feed him some macaroni or some shit. But they're in the trees making a fort all day. Like, it's not sitting on the iPad all day, and that's kind of what I love about it.
That's living, baby, right there. That's old school.
Is being a fireman in Canada the same as like Boston, where you do like 124 on? Because an hour travel, if you're doing that every day, it would get old.
Yeah, so it's not anymore. Like, COVID kind of pushed us into the 24-hour shifts, which I love commuting. You're doing it half as much, but you go there, you stay there for 24 hours, and then you got your days off. And that's kind of when I started to think, I kind of want something to do on the side. I got some time. I don't want to like start a business and be swamped, and I can't, coach my kids and that type of thing. So I didn't know what that was going to be. And, 3 years ago, this opportunity to do a hockey podcast, and I can do it at my house, and it's going to work with my schedule, kind of came up, across my lap, thanks to Luke Kwon, who's a buddy of mine. Frank Saravalli was looking for a guy to do this Leafs show, and my name came up. So I threw my name into the hat and said, yeah, sure, I'm interested in that. And all this stuff starts showing up at my house, gear and equipment. And 2 weeks later, I'm live and I have no idea what I'm doing. I wish they'd scrub those old ones from the internet, but I think we got our feet under us now.
A firefighter, or like the hall where you guys stayed, that's got to be the closest thing to a hockey locker room. Because like everyone, you always do stuff with the firemen, police when you're in towns. But going to a firehouse is like, it's a brotherhood like it is a hockey locker room, right?
Yeah, 100%. And that's kind of what turned me on to it when I first stepped foot into one. I'm like, this is a locker room. Like, we don't even know these guys, and we're laughing and chirping and dicking around. And so as soon as I got into it, you get through the training and stuff, which was okay. But once you're in the hall, it's like, yes, you get to know the crew, and you fit in with certain guys, and you figure out how it works. And there's a hierarchy, like in the locker room too. You got your captains and officers, and you go down to the rookies and the drivers and all that. And I understand that. So it's not like an adjustment to me. I get how that works and why it's important. But you're in the hall, and like, they're playing pranks on each other and dicking around, and then you work out together, and then you're cooking up this huge meal, and then the tones go off and off you go, and you have no idea what to expect. It's an emergency. And I like being in the shit and in the thick of it like that. If there's something going on, and there's like caution tape, I always want, like, what happened? What's going on? And you're never allowed in. Now you're the guy first in trying to figure out what the hell you're supposed to do with it. So it's just the best of both worlds. I really enjoy it.
I got one more about the firefighting just before we kind of get into the hockey stuff. Like, I have a few buddies who are firefighters, and I think maybe a little bit before COVID, but COVID is kind of where it really started kicking in, where they kind of started dealing more with the fentanyl stuff and like having to like shoot people up and report to those types of calls rather than actually fighting fires. Has that kind of wore on you mentally? Because like, obviously people who have been dealing with that have had to, in some cases, take breaks. And it just has become a little bit overwhelming as far as like the amount of calls that they're going to that aren't even fighting fires.
Yeah, like we do medical calls. That's the bulk of our calls. And, just the way you have to have fire stations set up. I mean, an insurance company won't insure this new development if there's not a fire hall within X amount of minutes away. So you've got them all strategically stationed around your district. So when those tones go off, we're trained in certain medical aspects where we can get there first before an ambulance a lot of the time. So we're first on scene a lot. And yeah, medical calls take up a lot of it. Like, everyone asks, how often do you fight a fire? It's like, like there's not a schedule for shit burning down, right? Like, there's guys that'll do 2 in one day or multiple ones in a tour, and then some guy won't do any fire related stuff for a month. And it just depends where you are. Different districts are different, but medical calls are part of it for sure. I was downtown Calgary, and there's fentanyl like crazy, and like you're going to it constantly to the point where we had to get new trucks to like dedicate trucks to doing these calls because you're running the wheels off your big rigs. And it's the same, all over North America. It's definitely a problem. And it's kind of funny because like the people that are in power and make the laws and stuff, like they're stepping over these, these addicts and these homeless people to go into like, and it's like they don't know what to do. Like it's a problem. But yeah, it's not really my department. We show up and do what we can, and it doesn't bother me. Some guys get messed up. Like,
well, it's just hard, like seeing that, like you're seeing the worst of it, right? And also they're the ones sometimes injecting these guys with, is it called Narcan?
Yeah. We Narcan guys all the time.
I got a buddy who Narcaned a guy, brought him back to life. 7 hours later, call again, same guy. Narcaned him again.
Yeah, for sure. Or they'll get, and sometimes they get up with like they still got the juice in them, and they come to really fast. So you got to be ready. Like they might want to scrap you and stuff. But then they might
That's
just
why
like
Rosie's on the
spit
job.
on you and swear at you. And
Well, you're ruining their high.
Oh yeah, they're messes. I've heard of a guy getting Narcan 3 times and by the same crew in one day. It's gross, and yeah, whatever. It is what it is. I don't know what the answer is, but it's a gross thing out there, no question.
So back to the hockey. Real interesting story for you. Like 1 year in college, and got a couple messages from Grinelli, who talked to people like the most coachable guy, everyone said, like most improved guy, like 6 years in a row in different leagues. But take us like into your beginning, like your early days in hockey. Maybe your dad got you in, or you just loved the game, big Flames fan or Oilers fan, I don't know. But like, what was your intro into hockey? Like, how old were you when you remember really loving it?
Yeah, like I just like anyone else. My older brother started in hockey, so I started by default, and I really started to like it when you started playing hit hockey. Like I was fine. I wasn't a standout or anything like that. I think my skating got better as I progressed and ended up being my strength. But once you started playing hit hockey, it was like that's all you wanted to do. Like you had those Douglas shoulder pads, those plastic things that sounded like a fucking car crash when you'd hit guys. And I didn't give a shit about scoring goals. I was just like, who can have that big as woo? All the boys are just, their voices are cracking at 12 and 13 years old, and we're just trying to annihilate each other. And I like that side of it. And, once I started hitting, 14, 15 is when I started to kind of stand out in the physical side of things and kind of could not dominate, but like, it was like, Jesus, look out for that guy kind of thing. And yeah, like you said, I nobody in town was like, that kid's going to play in the National League. It wasn't that story, but in my mind, that's how it was going to go. Like I was hell bent after kind of puberty, I guess, to just to make it no matter what. I told a teacher that one time, she laughed in my face. So I just like kept it to myself and was like quietly like obsessed with making it there. So yeah, I mean, every year I'd get the most improved, and I always thought it was such a dust fucking trophy to get. Like wasn't.
How can I get this every year? I was that bad.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of how you felt at the time. But after a while, you look back and there's like 6 of them on the shelf in a row, and in like 5 or 6 years of time, you went from tier 2 junior to playing in the NHL. You must have been doing something right. So it was an unconventional path. I got drafted as a defenseman, started playing defense full time in midget AAA at 16. So then played tier 2 junior, 1 year of college, 2 years pro, and then switched to forward. And that's when the scrapping started happening and stuff. But yeah, when people look at my DB, they're like, what the hell was this guy doing? It's kind of all over the map, but it's just the way it was.
So outside of the physicality at a young age, were you okay scrapping? Did you do it a lot? Like, were you a guy like in Olds, Alberta, where maybe there was another high school or wherever where you'd end up scrapping guys in the yard? Like, what was your temperament like?
Yeah, like I remember being nervous in junior. It felt like you were kind of playing against men all of a sudden. Like back then in the Alberta Junior Hockey League, it was pretty tough. Our team was tough. My brother was tough. We had 2 other sets of brothers. We had so many guys that were tough. And then you'd go up north. They had a lot of tough teams. So I if I fought 10 or 12 times, it didn't even seem like a lot. I was certainly not considered a fighter. I'd like to hit and be physical, and if that led to a scrap, fine, but it certainly wasn't my role. It wasn't what I thought I was going to do full time. But like we had this coach, Brett Cox, his name was, he ran the Olds Grizzlies. I decided to stay at home and play there because Seattle had my rights, and I was like terrified to go down to Seattle and move and leave my high school and go from a small town down to the States. I was like, fuck that. I'm just starting to like stand out. I'm a late developer, I thought. So stay here, play with my brother, live at home, stay in my high school and be comfortable, play tier 2, and then ensure you give yourself more time to get to the NHL. Because like I said, I was kind of constantly getting better, going, shit, if I keep this up, maybe I could do something. But if I get thrown into the dub right now, they want me to be a meathead. I mean, they're calling me saying, can you run out to the garage and see how big your dad's shoes are for me? And I run out there, right? He's a size 12. It's like, you're just wanting to see how big of a fucking piece of meat I'm going to become. You know, I felt that right away at like 14. So that's kind of why I didn't go the dub, even though at the end of the day, that would have been probably the more prototypical path for me. But like I said, Brett Cox was coaching me and he just said, I'd rather pull back on the reins than crack the whip, man. You just do your thing out there. And as a D-man, I'd wheel the net, I could skate decent, and I'd get the red line, and I would flip it up into the rafters and still chase down my own dump as a D-man and just crush D-man. And like, like I got to college and did that, and they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, but I had full reign in junior.
The
and
one man
You had a breakaway, Jay.
He was a one-man band.
Oh, God.
Playing every instrument.
The one time I thought I finally overdid it, like they took the red line out that year. So I was getting used to that as a D-man, and some guy roasted me. I think it was in overtime, but I was chasing him down. And we had an old Sherwood whatever stick it was at the time, and I just leapt like Bobby Orr and tomahawked this stick over the kid's back and crippled him. And he scored in overtime, blows the net off the moorings, and he didn't move. He didn't get up to celebrate or anything. And I'm like, fuck. I'm finally just going to hear about it, right? Like, this is too far. I go into the locker room and Cox comes in and he's got the game puck. Well, we lost the game. I don't even know why I had. He goes, game puck goes to Rosie. I hate that fucking kid. And he's just jacked that I played with that much intensity. So it was free reign, and I was really able to kind of, be that guy. And all my friends from high school are like, we're not coming to the game unless you're going to be a gong show tonight, Rosie. And I'm like, okay, I bet you better put on a show. So it kind of started there. And, you
were getting positive reinforcement early from it. So it kind of just like builds your ego up doing it. Now we're going to get to some of these wild off the ice stories. What were you like in high school growing up as far as like your crazy antics off the ice? Were you a pretty good kid? Was hockey kind of taking all your craziness where you were getting it out of your system?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you'd have to ask the teachers and stuff. I didn't get in a lot of trouble. I wasn't a bad kid. I was actually really good at getting away with a lot of shit. We'd do dumb shit and we'd finagle our way out of it. So we never had to deal with like the actual.
Well, easy when you only have one sheriff or officer in town.
That too. Like one time there was a message on my machine from Constable so-and-so to come down to the station. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm deleting the hell out of this before my parents can see. I go down and I don't know, we were shooting signs with shotguns or something. And then my buddy went to Value Drug Mart to get the film developed of the disposable he was taking pictures of. And we got in shit there, but he's like, pay for the signs. I had a scholarship at the time, and he's like, pay for these signs and shit, and we're all good. And I'm like, thank you. Stuff like that. You just kind of, small town didn't hurt, right?
Oh, you're not shooting shotguns. That's normal.
Whatever.
All normal stuff north of the border, right?
Of course.
How did a town so small get an AJHL team? Or is it still there?
Yeah, they're still there. They won the Centennial Cup in the early 90s. It's, they have their ups and downs. They just got bought by a new outfit, but small towns can handle an AJ team. And the hard part is the corporate sponsorship, big enough companies to sponsor it and really float the dollars, but they've been there for a long time. And they're pretty good outfit.
Going to college, especially playing in a small town, and especially where you were from, then you go to Minnesota Duluth, which is probably a small town too, but you got guys like Tim Stapleton there, guys from big cities, like different, Chiclets, a legend, Tim Stapleton. What were guys like that? Like, it was probably the first time you've seen kids from big city and their personalities.
Yeah, it was different. And, I was 19 years old. So I was homesick actually, and took some getting used to. Scott Sandelin was there. He still is. He was a D-man and kind of saw himself in me and really helped me out and helped with just the positional part of it and the skating and opening up and how to run, playing D. And I think he helped me out a lot, even though I was just there for a year, but it was an adjustment period. There was a reason I didn't go down to Seattle at a young age. I look at kids now, like going to Notre Dame at 14 and leaving home. I just can't believe it. Like, how are you mature enough to do that, brave enough to do that? How do your parents let you just had them and it's like, see you later, you'll never live at home again? Like, I can't quite believe that. I guess it's just a small town in me who was like, fuck that. If I can stay home and play, I'm going to do it that way. And college was an adjustment, but I was ready to do it. Obviously, you can't stay on mama's tit forever. So it was time to go. And my brother was actually right across the bridge at Wisconsin Superior. So he was around that year to kind of have some familiarity, which was kind of cool.
I was going to ask you this story. I actually got a DM from one of your buddies who would teed me up with a bunch of wild ones. Now, you were only there 1 year at university. Was that as a result of, I guess you were dating some girl and then some like altercation happened because of it? Is that a true story? Can you bring us through it?
Yeah, I forgot about that. No, it was this tennis player I took on a date while we were there. We went to this famous bar, Grandma's Bar in Duluth, right? Everyone was there, but I'm only 19. I can't really get in. So I snuck in and I'm on this date with this pretty tennis player and just, figuring things out. And this big behemoth moron like tramples her getting to the bar and stomps on her foot and like visibly hurt her. And I was like, hey, like you just trampled this girl. And he's like, and I'm like, well, I just thought you'd probably like want to apologize like a human being, And then the guy puts his drink down and he goes, do you know who I am? And I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like, okay, just forget it. So then she's like, it's okay. So I'm just staring at her and he's like trying to tell me how he's got pro scouts looking at him for football or some bullshit. And I'm like, hey, like take your drink and move on. And then I'm just looking at her, but in my peripheral, he's standing there with his chest puffed out. And then he just clocks me and I'm standing on like a high top bar stool and I'm falling off the stool and I realize what happened. And I plant my right leg and I hammer back and I just square this prick and he goes down. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? I'm on a date with this girl I've been staring at in the hallway all fucking week. And I just unload like lefts and rights. Like my watch goes flying. My sandals go flying. Our captain had to grab me by the t-shirt and rip it off. So I'm just standing there in like these Billabong shorts. And this guy went from like holding me off to like just Bambi arms. Like I totally
buckled
lost
him.
it. So then like my captain's like, Rosie, get out of here. So I just sprint right by like the bouncers and everything that are taking IDs. And I am just Forrest Gumping it down the middle of the street and everybody's chasing me. And I ended up, the ambulance came around and I ended up in the back of a squad car and all this shit happens. And,
but he hit you first.
Well, that's what all my boys were saying. But then their crew was saying that I was stomping him and all this bullshit, right? But this guy's got a reputation around town. He's a complete idiot. But the cop was like, yeah, the ambulance went around back. They had the smelling salts your buddy awake and he's not in good shape. So I don't know what's going to happen here. But, and then it was like a month or two later, I signed with Tampa and I was like, sayonara.
See you guys.
See you never.
It turned into like, can't figure out what happened. I don't know. We both just got like nothing basically. Like, what are we supposed to prove? I think the guy came after me for a hospital bill later, but it just kind of went away. Someone took care of it. And that was kind of, don't dick. My parents were like, you're down in the States now. Try not to dick around. It's not like outside the Blue Yak and Olds where this stuff just goes away. But yeah, I kind of got away with one later, but I don't know what I could have done differently there.
Did he ever make it to the NFL?
No, he didn't. He was like 25 years old. He played college, Div 3 like 4 years earlier. He was just it wasn't the last time he got beat up at a party because he just kept showing up and running his mouth. He just couldn't handle the booze, I think. But he was an idiot, and he had it coming, I promise.
Outside of getting off your mom's tit, as you said, like what were the takeaways from just that 1 year? Obviously, dodging the feds, getting off your mother's tit. What was like the takeaway from that 1 year at college? Because you ended up signing, but you probably learned a lot moving away from home for at least 1 year.
Yeah, it was, I mean, I had trouble balancing school and hockey. Like I didn't like it. I had a lot of stress about school and this big workload and stuff would come on and it just kind of overwhelmed. And the prospect of like, I could just do hockey and I'd never done that before because I went right from like grade 12 to college and I'm like, I could not do schoolwork anymore and just focus on hockey. Like that was music to my ears. So Tampa was trying to get me out and I was like, I feel like I came here to develop and I am doing that. So like, there's no real reason. And then they were bumping up my signing bonus a little bit. And then I got in that scrap and kept thinking about planning for the courses in my school. And I was like, fuck this. I signed and took off. And I said, school will be there later if I need to go and do school. But these opportunities aren't going to be here forever. I'm signing this contract and let's go.
What was kind of the first pro camp like that next year? I know you had a couple games in the coast, but mainly in the AHL. You're in beautiful Springfield, correct?
Oh, fuck. I must have played against you there in Springy.
Yeah, we crossed paths a little bit. I wasn't scrapping a lot the first 2 years. Again, D-man. I was too. I remember the scouts telling me, like, you're kind of playing vanilla. Like, where's that dog? And I was like, in my mind, like, I think one of my first games was against like Alexander McGillney was playing and stuff. And I was like, all respectful and know your place and earn your stripes and put in your tie. And I was kind of tiptoeing and I don't think that was the strategy. Like I should have gone in there guns a-blazing, but I wasn't scrapping a whole lot and kind of getting my bearings. So it was a learning process. Our team wasn't that awesome or anything, but like it was funny. My first year pro, I got called up to play, but Happy Boolin had like some immigration issues, so they had to bring up our goalie instead. And I was told I was getting called up. I packed my shit and everything, and the final call didn't come, but that goalie came back from that weekend in Montreal and said all of his stuff said my name on it, like Jay Rosehill on the room service and the key card and all that shit. So I'm like, fuck, I was supposed to get called up. I'm only 20 first year. Should be good. And then at the end of the season, they called me up as a black ace, practicing with everybody. And, they were doing poorly against Ottawa in the first round. And the guy came up to me and said, Rosie, if they make a D change, you're going in. You're the guy. And I'm like, holy fuck. Because Jay Feaster came and watched me one weekend. It was just one of those weekends. I was just controlling the play and I was physical and confident. And that's like the only weekend he saw. So he was really high on me. And that was my first year pro as a 20-year-old. So I'm like, fuck, I'm right there. I made the right decision. This is good. And then the next year, Dirk Graham got fired, who was my coach, and they brought in Steve Sterling, and he did not care for me, man. Like, just wrote me off. Tore me to shreds. This one game we're in Portland and he's in the D room and he's going around the room telling you how much you could touch the puck. And we had Andy Delmore on the team who came down. He was obviously really good. And he's like, Delly, you can touch the puck, make plays, don't get crazy with it. Remember defense, but make plays and do your thing out there. Then he'd go to like Matt Smaby and be like, Smabes, make the plays, move the puck. If you don't see it right away, then just keep it to the wall or get it deep, Then he'd get to like me and one other guy, Rosie, I don't want the puck on your stick tonight. Like, if it comes to your stick, put it in the stands or in the bench or ice it.
This is before a game?
Just pick it up.
I don't want you touching the puck. This is 20 minutes before puck drop. I'm 21 years old and I'm just destroyed, confident. Like, I can't make an 8 pass in practice. And looking back, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Your job is to make this kid better and to get him to the NHL and to develop him. And that's your advice. Like what did I do to get written off that bad? But he wanted me gone, man. And it was at the beginning of the third year after playing for him for 1 year, he sent me to the coast. And I was like, fuck, I'm going backwards here, right? And he made sure. He's like, pack all your shit. Like, don't leave anything in Norfolk here because the team moved to Norfolk. He's like, you're not coming back, so don't leave anything here. I'm like, I got the message, Sturls. So I go down to I drive from Norfolk down to Tampa, where the Mississippi Seawolves are going to pick me up on the bus, and they're going to go down and play the Florida Everblades. So they're picking me up in Tampa. I pull into Tampa's parking lot at the St. Pete Times Forum, and I look up and it's the door I walked in like a year and a half ago where I'm the black ace and I'd gotten called up and I was like so close, and I'm looking at the exact same building going, I am a million miles away right now, right? So kind of a low point, but lo and behold, I went and played those 2 games down there, and then we came back to Tampa. I was going to jump in my truck and follow the bus to fucking Mississippi. And I'm just evaluating life and leaving college and everything. And the coach comes back and he's like, Rosie, they called you back up. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, they call you back up. I'm like, any reason? He's like, I don't know, but they played Binghamton last night and they got the floor wiped with them. There was a gong show, fights galore. They got ran right out of the fucking building. I was like, okay. So I get back to Norfolk and Sturls is like, I heard you can play some forward. And I'm like,
no shit.
I was like, I hadn't played forward since I was 50, and I'm like, fuck yeah, know the position like the back of my hand. And I'm like, just keep me in this league. And
can I touch the puck? Can I touch the puck though, please?
I know. Do I still have to put it in the stands if
All right,
I
here's a
get it?
face-off play.
Yeah, so I mean, that was like a bit of a scare going down, came back, got a second chance playing forward, and he goes, we need someone to forecheck. We need someone to be physical. And if you want to be in this league, like they had drafted so many defensemen to Tampa, myself included, but so many guys ahead of me on the depth chart that there was like 8, 9 defensemen in Norfolk, and I'm like number 10. So that's hence why I'm getting sent down and I don't have a chance in hell. So it put me on forward. All of a sudden, this whole new avenue opens up. So I did just that. I mean, I could skate pretty good at the time, and that's kind of my strength. Not so much with the puck, but I was just forechecking like crazy. Like just like there's no puck out there. Guys would ask me like, Rosino, there's a puck out there, right? But I would just run around. And at that time in that league, it does not take long for a guy to grab you. And you know, I remember fighting Dale Purington and Frankie Lassard and being like, that wasn't so bad. Like I handled myself fine. And I thought these guys were mutants that I wouldn't even look at. So I'm like, okay, run around. Every tough guy's coming at me and I'm handling myself fine. And all of a sudden it's just off to the races. Like you're a heavyweight. And I'm like, the next year I led the league in fights and it just happened out of the blue. But there was no way I was going backwards or going to say, no, I don't accept this opportunity, or no, I'm going to go back to D, or no, I'm going to play in the coast. It was like, fuck that. We're going forward only. And however I got to do it, I'm going to do it.
I feel like I'm talking to myself, boys. This sounds
I know.
It's crazy. Because I went to Pittsburgh as an 18-year-old, almost made the team at a camp, like was the last cut, was successful. And then like, you know, next thing you know, when you're there, I spent basically 2 full years in the coast, right? So what was that like? Because you said that you were, I don't know, did you say homesick when you first got to school, like a change of pace? What was it like once you signed pro, moving around so much? Like, were you just a little bit fucked up, or maybe throughout the course of your first few years, did you ever consider maybe like this, I'm going to play through my entry level and then I'm going to go back home and work?
No, that once I started playing pro, it was blinders on, like head down, ass up. It didn't matter. And looking back, I mean, I had some lows and some adversity, but I just said, okay, like just like keep plowing through. Like there's the other side of this, whatever that is, and just kind of made it happen. You know, got to know some good guys and playing pro and the camaraderie. And looking back, like we were drinking too much back then, like to try to be pro athletes, but we were having fun and making the most of it, and the road trips and all the rest of it. It was fun. I had some anxiety about it. I lost confidence, had battles with coaches, and it wasn't all roses, but I never thought of going back. It was always just like next year, next contract, where's the next step, moving forward. And that's all I cared about. And didn't matter how it had to happen. I was kind of naive, to be honest with you. Just head down, ass up, just plow through to the next one.
Is it amazing how much respect and turnaround the organization has, where all of a sudden they switch you roles and you're fighting and I guess providing them something? Like, did you feel the love instantly when you started scrapping so much?
Not so much from the organization, but from the teammates. Like the same guys that I was at Traverse City with and those early camps and everything, you know, they know me from back then. And then, you know, I'm fighting heavies. Like I remember this one night I got in 3 fights in one game, and Mike Egner, my buddy, came to me and he's just staring at me like, who are you? And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just a whirlwind of scraps and running and just making noise. And I knew Tampa had no plans for me. So I was like, I'm going to make so much noise that not everyone's going to be able to ignore me. Like, I'm going to make a name for myself. Someone's going to come calling. And after that second year of playing forward, I get dealt to Toronto, and Brian Burke says, come over here, my son. And I got noticed. So it worked out.
Mike Egner, I believe he played for the Calgary Hitmen in the Western League.
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost fought him at World Junior Camp. They said no fighting. Yeah. Good solid defenseman in the Western League. He played a little bit pro. I thought he would have lasted longer.
Yeah, he's a good shit. I think, you know, the game kind of wore him down and mentally ran into, again, some coaches that did not help. Tampa did not develop the guys the way that they could have, would have, should have back then. He should have had a better opportunity, but I think he played out his entry-level contract, maybe a couple more, and went over to Europe for a little bit. But he was a stud in junior, man. And it was him and Dion Phaneuf, like Calgary Red Deer, battling. I think they fought in the prospects game like he was a maniac. He was like the template of what you wanted to be when you
No,
got
I
to
fought him in the prospects game, but I know what you're saying. Yeah,
Oh,
they
is
were
it
bad. Yeah, I ended up
You,
going
eh?
after Double Dion because he fucking lit up Marc-Antoine Pouliot.
It's so crazy to me, like how good of company men guys like you guys are, where your coach is telling you you're not allowed to touch the puck, and then he tells you you're not even allowed on the bus. You got to follow the bus in your car, and you're still willing to go out and fight 3 times. But like you said, it's for your teammates, and it's just so like it's unbelievable how you guys can operate like that.
I think what's impressive is that you said, you know what, I don't see much of a future in Tampa, but I'm going to cause such a mess every game that someone's going to notice me.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned Berkey. I kind of forgot he was in Toronto when they traded for you. That is the exact guy that would catch an AHL game and be like, who the hell is this?
Yeah, 100%. It was I'm at my first camp. Like I got to Toronto. It was very late in the season when I got dealt there at the American League deadline or whatever. I finished up the year there. They extended me for 2 years, so I was kind of like, "Okay, I'm gonna be in Toronto." And that camp, you know, we were in the gym and I was watching some fitness testing. And I just felt like this presence behind me, and I look back and it's Berkey, and he's got this fat dip in. His tie's undone. He's looking straight forward, not even at me, and he's just watching this guy on the bike, and he's like, "This is your kind of team, Rosie. Your kind of team." And I'm like, okay, all right, like Matt, I got it. And then I think we played like 6 or 7 exhibition games. I think I played in 5 of them in a week, and I got in 5 fights in 7 days through preseason and made the opening night roster. And you know, was playing my first game against Montreal in Toronto, and just away we went. Like the ups and downs are crazy how quick it happens, like the peaks and valleys. I kind of got that with hockey. Like shit, things can change fast. Like going from being with Tampa, thinking you're going to play your first NHL game in a playoff game, to being in the coast,
Mississippi.
Until all of a sudden you're in the show. It's just like things happen so quick. And I saw all these guys fall by the wayside who couldn't hack it. And like, you know, one bad coach or one bad year, and they're like, fuck this, and excuses out the ass, and like this is bullshit, and I'm getting screwed and all this. And it's like, well, then fuck off. Like, okay, like rest your laurels on that. That's all you got to say about it. Then that's all you're going to focus on. See you later. You're done, pro. And I'm going to forward on and don't really care what Steve Sterling says. And it was honestly just kind of naivety. Like I was just naive. I didn't really understand like how it should work or how bad of a spot I might have been in at times, but just kept fighting. Like I had 2 broken thumbs for most of that season. I couldn't put on my socks. I couldn't turn a doorknob.
Were they broken from getting stuck in the jerseys?
No, I think just punching. Like I must have just gone like this or something, because I'd break both my thumbs all the time. But it just got caught up with punching. And jerseys, I tore all my tendons like on my fingers. They were sideways and they were in casts or splints and stuff. It was mayhem. I got a couple of pictures of like selfies I took back in the day of my face, and it's jersey burn and black eyes and stitches. But I kind of loved it. Like it was intense, and I felt fucking alive and proud, and the boys after, and feeling like, fuck you, like any others, like just calling on a bench and a team. Like the juices were going like I'd never felt. And like you put your head on the pillow and there's lumps all over it, but you're kind of like, that was fucking awesome. Like I did like it.
Rosie, are you an emotional guy? Like your first game when you knew you were going to be in the lineup, like did you have your parents there? Did you get a little emotional beforehand, or was it more like the attitude you just been talking about? Like, let's fucking go here.
Yeah, like, it wasn't lost on me. Like I was obsessed with my goals were just to like say I played in the NHL. Like that's all I wanted. Like just say like one shift is all I kind of needed growing up, and just to say I did it, like there I accomplished the thing. So then I remember after my first shift, I was like, fuck, I did it. And then that night I was like, well, now what do I do? Like I should have made my goals higher. So I had to like reevaluate my goals and stuff. But no, that first game, I called my dad and I'm like, I'm in. I'm playing tomorrow against Montreal. And he's like, son of a bitch. And he's like, I got to get there. And I'm like, it's probably better to watch on TV anyways. And I wasn't sure what he was doing, but I woke up in the morning and he's like, I'm here. And he took the red eye. So I got this picture of me coming off a warm-up, my first game, and I'm just hitting the kids' hands or whatever coming down the tunnel. And I look up and he's right at the top of the tunnel and got this pic of me in this Leafs jersey. And he just got into town, and I showed him the rink or the locker room after. And he's just like, he was just blown away. It was a really, really cool thing. I was just like, again, like I said, I had to reevaluate my goals because that was all I ever wanted.
How were
That's
you?
amazing.
Game 1.
Not bad. I don't think I got a ton of ice. I fought Travis Moan.
Okay.
Horsey fought LaRock, which is I'm like,
fuck.
that's fine. Like you can take LaRock, I'll take Moner. But I don't know. We cycled it around a couple of times. It was that week I scored my first goal in my third game. Marc-Andre Fleury against Sid. They were the defending champions at the time. So I talked my, the first week of being there, which blew my mind. I was like, I can't believe I just fucking buried. Like I thought I'd have to play for like 2 years to score. But I had a lot of things happen that week, which was pretty exciting.
That first year, because you were up and down a little bit, right? It says Doug Gilmore was the assistant coach for the Marlies.
That must have been a paper money payroll thing, because I've never met Doug Gilmore.
Planting trees too.
That was like Mike Vernon was our goalie. Mike Vernon was our goalie coach when I was in Norfolk, when Len Barry and Oren Koulis, they owned the Lightning. There was all these random guys on our stat pack, goalie coach, assistant executive, associate, all these fucking celebrities and stuff, like little paychecks getting sent around, because I never saw any of those guys.
Yeah, it's when Wayne was the coach in Arizona, wasn't Grant Fuhr the goalie coach?
I
and
imagine.
he'd show up twice a month.
No, he was there every day. Furzy was there every day. But
Oh,
he was going right to the golf course. He used to show up to the rink in his golf cleats.
Okay.
Oh, I love
but
it.
he was there every day. Furzy was the man.
Biz, you get into, like when I was that first year, that camp in Toronto, my agent was like really close with the assistant general manager or something of the Coyotes. And he goes, Rosie, if it doesn't work out for you, if you get put on waivers, like I have good information that they are grabbing you if you go on waivers. Like they need a guy like you, and 100% they're grabbing the first guy on waivers. So I was like, okay, at least like if I don't make this team, maybe that'll happen. And you got put on waivers at some point in time, and they grabbed you. And I was like, oh, well, there goes the Phoenix opportunity. And then your whole career in Phoenix and everything you did and the tweeting and all that shit
Could have been you.
was right there off of that. Like I would have been chomping at your heels there. So I think you owe me a watch or something.
I do. I owe you something, buddy. I owe you something.
Playing in the coast and the AHL and then going to the big leagues, that we got guys like Phil Kessel in the locker room. Like it must have been a fucking treat to see him every day.
Yeah, it was it was cool. A lot of good dudes. Like Wayne Primo was my line mate when I first got there, and I remember one
Clark
of my first,
W. Griswold.
Yeah, he was hilarious. But it was like a first road trip or something like that. I don't know what the hell I needed, but I think I went to like Ponikarovsky or something, and I had a 20, and I'm like, Pony, like, do you have change for this or whatever? And he took it and he dropped, and he goes, this is change. And I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not in the minors anymore, So I had to like adjust being around these guys and everything, but it was just unreal, like riding the jet and going to the dinners, and the way they wine and dine you in Toronto was second to none. I was just blown away by like how you feel being on that team. It was pretty cool. And yeah, it was, but a lot of hard work to get there, and I had wanted to be there, and I felt I earned it in a way, and I was just soaking it up.
I was going to ask you, I don't think it was in Toronto, the car story, the stolen vehicle.
Yeah.
Now, am I fast forwarding too far ahead here? Like what was that about?
No, that I was like 22. I haven't really said that publicly. It's probably time I tell it, but I was in the minors playing for Norfolk. Long story. I'll try to keep it quick, but
don't.
We
Give
got
us
time.
the extended version. This is what this is about.
We're a terrible team. Norfolk Admirals in the American League. I'm like 22. We're on like a 5-game slide, right? And nothing's going good. We had a good group of dudes. We got along, wicked leadership. Like Norm Milley was like this beauty leading the charge, our captain. And we're at dinner, and we all decide that we're not going back to the hotel room. Like we're going to all go out tonight, and we're all going to play guilty tomorrow. And that was the answer to climbing out of this slide that we're in. Right. So we end up at this gentleman's club, like a couple of miles out of town on this secondary highway. And we have ourselves a night, and everyone hoots and hollers, and it's great. And we're trying to get home at 2 a.m. And notoriously in Binghamton, there's no cabs or anything. And it's December. There's a foot of snow on the ground. We're waiting outside of the bar, and one of the guys had played in bingo and knew one of the girls at the bar, and she was going to give us a lift home. And we're standing there, and there's this Hyundai warming up, and it looked warm. I'm like, I'm going to go jump in that car and like maybe spin it around back and play a joke on her. And the guys are like, I don't think you should, Rosie. And I'm just like, I'll just see if it's open anyway. And I go and flick the door handle and then I'm in it and just reverse and then look at the boys and then just pin her out of the parking lot. And I'm checking stuff out and looking at the radio and seeing what she's listening to. And then all of a sudden I'm on like that secondary highway and there's nothing around. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what is the plan here? And I just like kind of blacked out and I'm like, what? This is dumb. So I just kind of pulled over. It was like this old Shriners Hall. It was empty, whatever, parking lot. So I'm parking it. And as I'm doing that, I'm getting out in this, through the slats in the fence, I see this cop car wheel by and then hit the brakes and wait. And I'm like, fuck, how do I explain this? You know? So I'm wearing my suit still from the game or whatever, and we're all out in our suits, and take my suit jacket off and I wipe the whole thing down for prints really quick because that was going to make it so like I wasn't involved in this.
Ocean's 11.
Yeah. And then this cop shit hooks it and pins it and comes back towards me. And I don't wait. I book it into the trees. There's this whole forest behind this building. And I rip into the trees. I jump over this creek and up to my knee goes into mud and there's snow. And I am just like, I'm like that fucking guy from Twilight, just through the forest with the trees just flying by me, like as far and as deep as I can possibly get. And all of a sudden I'm like 250 yards into the trees. And I look back and I just see a flashlight like at the edge of the trees. And this cop's kind of checking it out. And I'm like, there's no way he is going to leap over that creek like I did and stuff. And so he kind of wasn't an issue. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to get back to the bar or home or something. But I just kept going into the trees and I hit train tracks. So then I get on the railroad ties and in my dress shoes, I'm just like pitter patter on the railroad ties, riding the rails back into the city, you know, and I do that for like a half an hour. And I'm like, I don't know where the fuck I am. I know I'm going the right direction. That's all I know. But how far? I don't even know where the bar is now. So this has been a while now. And I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. So I go back into the trees. I find this big cliff and a ravine. I climb up it and I see a guardrail and it's that highway. So I'm hiding behind the guardrail. And if a car comes out, I like jump out and try to wave it down, you know, if I can tell it's not a police car. And most of them just probably see in their headlights this guy in a suit covered in mud waving down in this mucky highway. They're blowing my doors off. And finally, a guy on the other side stops. And it's pretty quiet. A car comes around every once in a couple of minutes. So I run over to like get into him. And before I can touch the car, he just pins it and takes off. And I don't know if he got scared or was dicking with me or what. So I'm like, fuck, I'm on the wrong side of the highway. I go to run across the median. A cop car comes around the corner and he locks him up and just four-wheel slides it. And before I know it, he's hanging out the door, pistol drawn, get the fuck down, and just giving it to me. And I'm like, oh God. So I'm laying on my face. He comes over and he was not like, he like almost ruined my rotator cuff, cuffing me. And I'm like, this is no joke. And
this is how we get off the snide, boys.
He throws me in the back of the car. We go back to the bar. It's like 3:30 in the morning at this point. My whole team's lined up at the bar. My coach, Sterling, is sitting there like this with his glasses and his hair's all fucked. They pulled him out of bed, out of the hotel.
No wonder he didn't want you touching the fucking puck.
This was after
or the steering wheel.
He already hated me.
Don't touch any sticks or Hondas.
Well, there's like 4 cop cars there. And then when I get closer and they pull me up, 2 German Shepherds come out of the trees. And I'm like, this is like a whole thing now, right? So I tell them where that car is. They wheel me over with the girl and she's going to go get in and all the doors are locked. And this cop's got the flashlight and he sees like the keys are on the dash there. And then they all turn around with the flashlight to me in the back of the cop car. And I've locked the door while I was wiping it down for prints, eh? And I'm just like, I'm such a piece of shit. And they're just disgusted in me. So we had to sit there for an hour while a locksmith comes. And I'm like, well, they get her open. I'm like, well, no harm, no foul, right, boys? Like, we probably can have a good night or whatever. And they're like, yeah, right. They take me downtown. They book me fully, like fingerprints, mug shots. And they were rude. Like, I don't know what the Senators did around there that year, but they hated me, hated hockey players. They were like trying to get the headshot camera to zoom out to show my suits covered in mud and all this shit. And I'm like, we're really doing this, I guess. And they chucked a bag on the floor in this room and said, shower up and put this on. So I shower this cold shower. I put on a white shirt, some Ginchies, socks, and then this orange jumpsuit with Broome County Correctionals on the back. And I'm like, fuck. And then some slip-on Vans. So I bang on the door and I'm like, I guess I'm ready. And they're like, oh, they come over to this cell and throw me in it. And it's just like a concrete bed, this gross ass blanket with people's hair all over it, no pillow. And I just lay there for the night. And I'm contemplating my life. Like, what is going on? Is my career over? Like, can I ever
No, you're
play
just going
again?
to Mississippi.
How did this happen?
Going to the coast.
In the morning, they throw me a bag, like a paper bag of food. I remember it was like dry bread, warm tuna, 2 graham crackers, and warm milk. And I'm like, I couldn't eat that. So then the cop comes in and goes, oh, Mr. Fancy Superstar, I'm sorry we don't have the caviar for you today, you piece of shit. And they're just opening the cell door to rip me and then closing it like hourly. And I'm like, what is going on? So finally, this nice cop comes in like the next day. And he's like, hey, man, like, it's December 22nd. And they're like, what we need is a judge to like figure out what to do with you because you're not from this country and you're considered an alien, whatever. And I was like, okay. And they're like, all the judges are on holidays. So
Oh, no.
what's going to happen is you're going to be here throughout the holidays.
No.
And a nurse is going to come here and give you your hepatitis shot. And then you're going to go into central housing. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, dude, there's nothing I can do. Like, I'm now not just in jail. I'm like going to prison now. And I'm like, is this fucking happening, dude? Like, I was dicking around with a waitress at the bar. Like, and they're like, our hands are tied. So I'm waiting around to get this nurse to give me a shot. And meanwhile, I'm thinking like, when I go to general population, like, what do? Do I just like look at the ground and just play it like a bitch and just try to
bend
like
over?
blend in? Or do I fucking, go bananas on the first guy to say something? Like, I don't know what to do.
You got to send a message.
It's like,
Just like the coaches told you, your buddies said, you got to fucking put on a show for us tonight.
yeah. Fuck. I don't know, but the nurse never showed up. I stayed there another day. They're like, I don't know why the nurse isn't here, but some lawyer working overtime in Norfolk had got a hold of a judge to sign something to release me. And off I went. And, not much came of it. Once I got to tell my story being like, do you think I wanted to steal a fucking Hyundai? Like, what would I do with it? Like, I'm just an idiot. I'm not a thief. Like, it's
You
not
put it on the board the next game for the win.
the Sonata.
This one's for the fine fun, boys. Let's earn it. Let's get back in the win column here.
Every time I went back to bingo, anytime after that, there was Hyundai symbols on the glass, like Monopoly, do not pass go. Guys are dressed up in orange jumpsuits. They're dangling their keys at me on the tunnel. Like, it was this whole thing.
That is awesome.
Got through
Fans
the
are
That's
giving
such
each
a
other
fucking
hepatitis
minor
shots.
league story.
Yeah.
So how many hours were you in a jail cell for waiting to get released? Basically 48 hours?
Fuck, 36 or something like that. Like, I remember when I came out, then it was like before a matinee game, a day and a half later, and they're like, just get on the bus and don't talk to the media or anything like that. And I had to sit on the bus.
Play?
No, they were like, sit on the bus and don't be seen and don't see anyone. They get got into the media and everything. The media was saying I stole a car to go from one strip club to the next strip club, which wasn't true. There was like a Google Maps thing on this website of my
salt and
travels.
pepper, for the beat reporters.
Needed to see another show, I guess they thought.
They're trying to get called up too.
Yeah, literally.
Beat
But, that was
He
that was
murdered
brutal.
a
Everyone had heard
stripper, didn't pay his champagne room tab, and then stole her car.
had to boogie, but wasn't done.
Did you guys win the next game?
Oh,
He was on the bus. He doesn't know.
I really don't think we did.
Candy Crush in his prison outfit.
I remember when the guys came on the bus and they're like, Rosie, like everyone's worried about me. Like no one knows nothing.
You got a teardrop tattoo.
Yeah.
You should have stole
seriously.
the bus during the game.
Oh, now, yeah.
I sat with the bussy and like unloaded my life story on him about like where I'm at. He was like my sounding board that night, I remember. But
where did you go for Christmas? Did you go back home?
Cell block 8.
no, I think I went and played Pinehurst number 2.
What a week.
Yeah,
What
it was
fucking
a
week.
It
That
ended
is-
good.
So like you're kind of like a little bit of a fuck up, but obviously innocent and kind hearted. Like that was just a. Now, did you get a Dewey? Like, had you had a few pops?
No, none of that. That wasn't really the issue. It was no Dewey, no none of that. It was just like, why the fuck did you steal this person's car? And like once someone called and said someone stole my car, and they figured out who did it, it was like they just didn't. There was no talking to be done. It was like, don't talk to me. We're just following due process. And the further it got down the road, the more in the twilight zone I felt like how did that stupid one move turn into like I'm going into Gen Pop and thinking I need to fight freaking, some maniac just to not become someone's bitch. Like it was crazy how fast it went. But, I guess, the right thing happened at the end of the day in my mind is I got a slap on the wrist and I had to pay some fine or some shit. But like it was so overblown, but it was crazy how many people heard about that. People would talk about it to me on the ice. People were playing in Europe said I heard about that. And I was like, what a shit show. My parents were like, what the fuck are you doing down
That's
there?
before social media too. So it was like William Wallace. The story just kept growing. That's probably why Berkey ended up picking you up. He probably heard that. He's like, I'm signing that guy.
My agent did say they looked into my character and have found there's no problems there. So it's a non-issue.
I know if you had just gotten out of the car when you saw the cop and explained it, but once you went into the woods, that's when it was game on.
You're probably right. Yeah.
That was it.
Lucky the dogs didn't get you.
How would you summarize your time in Toronto? Like, absolutely loved it. I mean, obviously you didn't have to probably deal with the media as much as the superstars, but what was your overall experience like?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Like I was starting to feel like a veteran, like guys looked up to me and I kind of knew how to do things, knew how things worked. The time that I was on the Marlies down there, Dallas Eakins was the coach and I just wanted to go through a wall for that guy like everybody did. Ended up going to the Calder Cup final with him, ran up against John Cooper's like historic team who like never lost in a year or whatever. So didn't get a ring out of that, but just being around the city and being part of the Leafs and like all the people that come out of the woodwork, like people from back in the day you haven't talked to in 10 years are like, oh my God, I'm a diehard Leafs fan. And, everyone's asking for tickets and jerseys. Like they're just lined up Rosehill jerseys on the shelf for me to fucking toss out. But, a guy that I knew that I played with, he came to the game anyway. I said, come here, I'll show you the room. And we went onto the bench and he looked up at the banners and he started crying. And I'm just like, fuck, this team means a lot to people. It was when it was sinking in that like this organization's like a big deal and people really care. And you're walking around and you kind of feel like you're like somebody, I guess, it was wild playing for that team. And I guess I kind of get that now bringing it to the show that I do and understanding like the gravity behind the Leafs and how many people give a shit. It was really cool to be part of that.
You mentioned Dallas Eakins. He was kind of like a hot shot, like coach coming up. He got the Edmonton job. He told the reporters they had to eat healthy. That didn't go over well. And then he was out there, and then he was with Anaheim, and they didn't do great. And he's out of coaching now, huh? But guys did like him.
He's a great person. I think
That's
that
what
he came in
happens
a
when you
little
take
hot.
the chips away from Stoff.
Chop wood, carry water. That was just his term. Did he used to use that with you?
Maybe he had some catchphrases and stuff, but I mean, I got the sense that he genuinely cared about guys. And honestly, he was a hotshot coach coming out of there. He was the best coach not in the NHL. I wanted them to fucking hire him instead of Randy Carlyle so bad, and they almost did.
How mean was Randy?
Randy was so rude. Like, we're in Washington, and I'm getting my like undergear on after having my like warm up gear on, and he comes in. He hadn't said nothing to me since being hired, and he's like, Rosie, come talk to me out in the hall. And I was in a towel. I was like naked. And I'm like, shit. I was like, kind of like, do you want me to come? He's like, no, like get your stuff on. All good. I'll be outside. Get your gear on. So I'm like, fuck, shorts, t-shirt, shoe, straight out there, right? Like quick. And he's holding the door to the tunnel to the bench. And he looks down and he goes, nice of you to fucking join me. And then walks down the tunnel and lets the door, the big heavy door, like close in my face. So I got to pull it open. And then he stands there. He won't even look me in the eye. And he's looking at the half wall. He's like, you see that half wall? You see that there? I'm like, yeah, I see it. He's like, I got to fucking trust you on that. Do you understand? You can't turn the puck over there. You got to be a beast there. You got to get the puck to support or get it out. Do you understand? I have to trust you. And I feel like this is our little pump up talk before I go out and give her, right? And I'm like, yeah, you got it. I want to be able to gain your trust, and I understand the gravity of that position, and I got to be the guy that gets that out. He's like, good, you're not fucking playing, and walked away. And I was scratched and had to take all my shit off. Sometimes,
Fuck.
man,
What the
the
fuck?
coaches
You should have
just blow your
seen.
mind.
Ryan Carter was scratched and scratched and scratched, and we had a bag skate in Anaheim, and we had to push the net, and he pushed it directly into Randy. It was, and then I don't think he played again. Like, that was it. But I was like, I think he finally snapped. Karts is the man, great dude. And I was like, oh my God, like Randy made him snap. He was so mean, so rude.
Anybody call him out in Toronto when you were there, just like Whit described? Like, did anyone say finally, fuck this asshole and snap on him?
Timu owned him.
No, but like when he got signed, like there was guys that had been in Anaheim before who were like, fuck it, where's my phone? Like, I'm calling my agent, I'm getting out of here. I'm not playing for this guy again. And I'm like, oh, this is a good fucking start. The guy isn't even on an airplane yet, and everyone wants to bail out of town. So I was like, why didn't they hire Dallas? Like,
Yeah.
he was killing it. And then eventually I knew he'd get a shot. He got a shot in Edmonton, and like, dude, they like handcuffed him. They made him do all this shit and be a hard ass and take all this shit away and like change the culture. That wasn't him. Like, he was the guy to be like, boys, what do you need today? Like, what are you feeling? Like, do
Really?
we need to stay off the ice? Do we need to just do something in the gym and then maybe go for lunch together? Like, he was that guy where he like put the onus on us and we felt like responsible. We wanted to go through a wall for him. He was unbelievable. And then I heard these horror stories about Edmonton, and I think he even mentioned, we've interviewed him a few times, he's like, yeah, I wasn't able to do the way I wanted to there, and it fucked him.
He actually now, he's the head coach and GM of Mannheim in the DEL. So that's good. He's still in the game.
Oh, awesome.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's still going.
What was it like in Philly? I ended up fighting you when you were with the Flyers. Like, you were obviously a prototypical Flyer, tough. Seemed like you enjoyed your time. Another great organization where you said, like, you walked around with the Leafs and you feel like you're somebody, where I feel like Philadelphia with the alumni that was there must have felt very similar, no?
Yeah, it was wicked. I was like older and more comfortable, I guess, and just more mature. It wasn't like wide-eyed the whole time like in Toronto. And, you know, we had a young team like Hartnell and Giroux and Voracek and these guys, like they're all like, we had a wicked group of guys. So we had a blast at the rink, away from the rink, and wish we, you know, won a little bit more. Laviolette was there when I got there, and you know, that's when I signed like a 2-year one-way, and he said, I'm gonna play you every night. Like, I can't guarantee you 12 minutes, but the boys like you when you're playing and in the lineup. Like, it's not gonna be like Toronto. You're gonna play every night. And I'm like, fuck, this is like my opportunity to like solidify myself in the NHL, and finally got a guy who's in my corner. And first game as a Flyer was in Toronto. I fought Orzi and I scored the game winner, and I'm like, we are off to the races. And like,
Yes.
Laviolette loved me, and I'm like, here we go. Had a good summer of training, and he got canned 2 days into the season, 2 games, canned him because Ed Snyder, the late great Ed Snyder, I remember him in the coach's office. He was stomping his feet like a child. Like, he was so furious that we dropped the first 2 games of the year. And he had a cancer scare, and he was getting up there in age, and he wanted to win a Stanley Cup before he passed away, and he had no patience, and he canned Lavi. And I was like, fuck, like the one guy that's been in my corner for all these years, and they can him 2 years into my deal. And so Chief came in, Berube, and I thought that would be good, but Chief just didn't really feel like playing me. I played like 34 games that year, and it was wicked being there and everything, but I feel like it was so close to being different, but it was fun. Like, I knew who I was and knew all the guys inside out, scrapping this guy and that guy. I understood my role, when to fight, when not to, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. Philly's wicked.
That's just like you said, though, that how quick it can turn in this
100%.
line of work, right? That
100%.
sucks, because you look back, like if Lavi stays there all year, who knows? You might not have been playing in England 2 years later.
Exactly.
I played there too, which is fucking nuts,
You
man.
guys
you must
are
have
a lot
loved it on
alike.
the way out.
Dude, we like mirrored our careers
Yeah.
one year, eh? It's weird.
Did you do the program over there where you got your master's, or were you just playing?
No, I just said, just pay me as much as you can. I don't need that shit. I didn't want to do school. I'm not going backwards, remember?
Yep.
Were
you're
you
right.
Good
you
point.
must have enjoyed it over there. I don't know if Manchester had a team when I'd went over there during the lockout. So were you going to like Manchester United games and really just enjoying the the life work hockey balance?
Yeah, like after after my time and I went back to the minors after Philly for a year or two, and I was tired, I was sore, the grind had gotten to me, and I was like, I need a change here, and I kind of got thrown into it because I had to deal with the Coyotes actually with Chayka. I'm like older than this general manager, and he offers my agent a contract, says think about it for the weekend and get back to me. So we do. I check out the depth chart and the pipeline and where shit is and Tucson and everything, and I'm like, fuck, this looks pretty awesome. So I'm like, tell my agent, like, let's tell him we'll sign, we accept. So on Monday, he calls him back, and Chayka's like, oh, yeah, fuck, we stayed in house with that one. I kind of forgot to let you guys know. And my agent was like,
That guy's a
like
fucking rat.
August, and he'd never seen anything like that in his life. Here's an offer. Get back to me on Monday. Get back to me on Monday. Oh, we gave it to somebody else. So now I'm just standing there with up shit creek. Like I don't have anything. And got a call from Ryan Finnerty, a guy from Alberta who's running a team out there. And it was in Glasgow to start. And then he moved to Manchester. I followed him and saying all the right things. Like, dude, I want to play you. I can tell that you can play, but I haven't been able to get the opportunity. You can fight 0 times or 15 times. I could care less. I want you net front on the power play, like saying all the right things. So total breath of fresh air. I was like, and I'm obsessed with golf. So I'm like looking at the open rotation and seeing how many I can hit when, right? Like just, yeah, this will work. So go over there for a change of scenery. And it was actually a nightmare getting over there. I fucking kind of a story. I just had my second kid and they screwed up his birth certificate. So he had no passport. I had to go over by myself. So I fly from Calgary to Halifax. I got this 3-hour layover. I don't really know what to do. So I just go to the bar and there's an empty bar in the corner. And lo and behold, they're playing the Tragically Hip's last concert ever, like Gord Downey's singing
in Kingston.
last time. Yeah. And I'm watching this on TV and this bartender at this empty bar is from Kingston. So we start shooting the shit and we're watching this whole concert. I'm like, I cannot believe how perfect this is. I love the Hip and I can't believe we get to watch this. So he's sliding me shock tops this whole concert and I'm burying them. And I remember having this big double-decker burger with the fries and all the rest of it. And I'm like, this is just unbelievable. And
what a night.
All of a sudden my name's getting called over all the loudspeakers. I'm like, is that my name? I've been tuning out the fucking speaker above my head. And I look at my watch and I'm like, oh my God, I am like, my plane's leaving. So I start running through the terminal and like this pilot crew is going, are you that Jay guy they're calling? I'm like, yeah. They're like, holy fuck, buddy. Like this has been a problem for a while, right? So finally they like open up and let me on the plane. I'm like, sorry. And I get on the plane and this whole big bird is staring at me like, this is the asshole we've been waiting for. So like just brutal. And I just smell like shock tops and I'm bumping into everybody and I got to get over to the window fucking seat and everything. So anyway, like I must have just like conked out and I wake up. We must be over the Atlantic somewhere. It is pitch black. The people beside me are like fully wrapped up in blankets and shit. And my glands in the back of my mouth are going, ooh, and I'm going, what the fuck? And I just like instantly, and I just scramble for a puke bag. They like don't exist anymore. And I just fill up my hands in this seat in midair. And I'm going, oh my God. And then more's coming. So I'm like, what the fuck do I? And I just gun it under my feet and then fill up my hands again under the seat, fill up my hands again. I can see the teeth marks in the fucking half chewed fries in this thing. I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, so I gun under the seat and now I'm like, what do I fucking do now? And I'm using the magazine to try to scoop it up and it smells bad. And I'm like, what is going on? And I didn't really know what to do. So I just like went back to sleep. I woke up once to the stewardess with gloves and a mask on, like spraying Febreze over top of me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, what do you say? So then we hit the ground and I wake up and I'm like, just get me the fuck off this plane. I feel like everyone's staring at me and everything. I feel like a complete moron. And so some guy takes me to my apartment. As I get there, one of the guys on the team calls me. He's like, Rosie, I heard you landed. You want to go out with the boys here right now? I don't even know what time it is, what day it is. And I'm like, dude, I should probably just get into my place, right? So I get into my place and the cable on the internet isn't hooked up. It's a good spot and everything, but nothing's hooked up. I just stand there and I'm like, oh, now the scaries are setting in. And I hit redial. I'm like, buddy, you better come grab me. So we grab me. We go out in Glasgow and we are playing darts and cranking beers and drinking whiskey and having a time. I got to know all the boys. It was unbelievable. I go home and sleep. Again, wake up. Don't even know what time it is. They're like, oh, we're going to the rink. And I'm like, okay, what's going on today? They're like, oh, fitness testing. And I'm like, what? So I'm the new guy there and everyone's like, good to have you, Rosie. So I can't dog fuck it in the fitness testing. Like I gotta put on a good first impression. So we're doing these prowlers where you're pushing the sled with weight on, and I just go hammer down, blackout, and just go so fucking hard that I had to like lock my knees to walk to the bathroom and then just fill up another garbage can. I've been in the country for like 12 hours. I've puked twice, made an idiot of myself 3 times. It was a nightmare. I called my wife and gave her the Coles notes and she's like, what the fuck? Like, can you not do anything by yourself or what? And I'm like, I'm the hottest mess over here so far.
You're like, honey, it was the hip. It was the hips last concert.
Yeah.
It was
they didn't steal the plane.
Yeah, New Orleans is sinking.
Veins.
Yeah, New Orleans is sinking, baby. Did you know it was going to be your last game when you played your last game in Manchester?
Yeah, I did. It was like Christmas time probably where, I don't know, you feel shittier and shittier and you're getting older and it's harder to warm up. And I'm like, fuck, I used to get better every year. And now I feel like I'm probably starting to get worse. It was just an ugly feeling. And, my kid was starting to like not want to move when we went overseas because he had like friends in town and stuff. And I'm like, this is going to start. And we had, so much shit with 2 kids. I'm just like, where's the motivation now? Like, why am I always had a motivation. Now it's like, where is it? So talked to my wife and stuff. And at Christmas, I was like, I think it's going to be my last, this is it. Like this is going to be my last season. I don't think we're going to do it again. And Dane Byers, a good Sasky boy, was in the exact same boat and he had made that decision already. So it was like me and his last tour kind of thing. We had very similar careers as well. And then you got to like savor every last bus trip and practice and team event and all that stuff. And last game, I knew it was my last game and could kind of savor it and soak it and like just kind of like absorb it rather than, some guys' careers are ended by getting cut or getting no contract or getting injured or COVID or some bullshit. And then it's just gone. And like, I can see that being a sick feeling to live with. I got to prepare for it and like do it on my terms, which was pretty good.
That's awesome.
What a run you had.
What a
dude.
run, buddy.
Unreal.
Good for you, man.
Couple
Good
clicks
for
for
you.
Rosie, boys. What a run, eh?
And Rosie, I see all the clips. I see your show. You do a hell of a job, buddy. Very opinionated, passionate. Stand by what you say. Like I really enjoy watching your content, dude. Pretty cool.
I appreciate it.
You
Awesome.
probably didn't really think you were gonna, like you mentioned, like Sarah Valley's like, oh, we need a guy. It wasn't like you were right when you were retired. I'm gonna get into media. It's just worked out well for you.
Yeah, it just fell in my lap and it worked out good. I like doing it. Yeah, I'll plug it. It's Leafs Morning Take. It's called on the Nation Network. Me and Nick Alberga, we do it 5 days a week, and it's all Leafs. And he's good at getting all kinds of guests and everyone you could think of, celebs, different people. It's a lot of fun to do and keeps me in the game. I didn't watch hockey for the first little while after I retired. I had no reason or interest or anything. Now, like, the Leafs biz, like there's no day goes by without new drama, information, shit going down.
I don't get too excited about it like at the start of the year. I let them get their like 20, 30 games in and okay, then we'll see what's going on. Which like
I wouldn't get excited either if Columbus was drumming them.
Okay, here we fucking go. Yeah, congratulations to the Blue Jackets. They had a fucking great game last night. Scored a few off the rush. Leafs are struggling off the rush as Mike Kelly tweeted out and worst in the league with 14 goals allowed. What do you make of these Toronto Maple Leafs right now without Mitch Marner? Like that was obviously the big change. I believe you were pretty vocal in not bashing them, but just like calling it, I guess, how you saw it. How do you feel about maybe the way that you handled it and that whole situation unraveled?
Yeah, I was in the middle of a golf trip when I really put the hammer down on old Mitchie boy there one year in a playoff game. But again, I that's what I thought. So I said it, and I said I wasn't going to do this job if I had to toe the line or something like that. I'm going to say what I think and be honest. And, without him right now, like him not being there is not the reason for their struggles right now. Positionally, they're all over the place. I think that's something that can be fixed early. They've had injury problems and Stoli, and they had Primo in last night. Like, what? There's all kinds of problems. I think their problems can be fixed quick, but they're trying to figure out who the hell they are and how they're supposed to play. And the thing that pisses me off is you've made this identity change. You're the biggest team in the league, but like, where is it? Like, I saw McCabe be an absolute beast one night the other night, and it was just like, ugh, like everyone's just over the moon over it. It's like, that's what you should do like daily. But when things are going wrong, people are looking at their leadership. Like, there's just no emotion. There's no Nathan McKinnon. Like, look how pissed off he is. Look how much he cares.
Yeah, I would like to see Austin maybe have a little bit more of that temperament. You'd hope that it comes with more maturity. Like, I can't be a hypocrite. Like, I was like Joe Burrow was walking in with these like fancy outfits when the team was struggling at the beginning of last year, where I'm like, I don't know if you're the starting quarterback, if you should be rocking like a pink tank top into the rink. Where like last night, I think it was like a Balenciaga sweater, and it's like kind of like open. It's got like the little, like, where I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe until we kind of establish that identity and you're a little bit harder to play against, maybe just throw on the normal suit. That's just kind of, maybe that's my old school thinking, but what?
Can I ask you guys both something, Rosie and Biz? Do you think there's any worry in terms of like his injuries? Like, not necessarily right now he's injured, but he had the back, he had the wrist. Is that something that he maybe still feels that could change? You see comments, right? Like, he doesn't move like he did. Now, we're 11 games in. He's got 5 goals. It's like, I think people are definitely overreacting a little, but I wonder if you guys think the injuries could be I think
that age, obviously, I guess I'm a little bit concerned about, you lose that little half a step, but I feel like I like the way he plays. I feel like he competes. Like, would I like him to have more of that Nate McKinnon? Fuck, every fucking GM and fan of a team would want your superstar having that type A where you're going to look at that fight that McKinnon ended up going after McAvoy. Like, he has no problem handling his own business. So I would like to see more of that for Matthews. But if you go even back to last year's playoffs or anytime they're in a big game, like, maybe he doesn't end up scoring or on the game sheet, but he's down low winning that battle and distributing the puck and getting in those hard areas. So sometimes it's not always done with like brute force, but it's like if he's competing, and it's like kind of like same as Sasha Barkov. Like, he doesn't necessarily have that type A, but he's very reliable and plays a great 200-foot game. So I don't know. Do you agree with me on the outfit thing? Is it just maybe a little bit like John Tavares wouldn't do that, right? He's going to be very vanilla and handle his business.
I would be lying if I didn't say it bothers me. Like, my buddies that chirp the Leafs all the time are ripping on me for them having earrings and purses and fucking scarves. And it's the old school, toxic masculinity that is me and my generation and us. Like, I don't like it. Like, I don't get how you can put on this weird looking shit that no normal human would wear and then get crushed in the game and then put that shit back on and would go do interviews and walk out of the rink. Like, don't you feel like a fucking idiot? But I'm old and they're young and they like fashion or some shit. So whatever, like, if that's not holding you back, like to Witt's point, is he injured? Like, he's got 3 Rocket Richards and a Hart trophy. Like, but we haven't seen a sliver of that in like a year and a half. It's almost going on. So it's like, is he banged up? Why was he in Germany? Like, we wouldn't know if he was. The Leafs are so tight-lipped about stuff. But like, when you talk about not the effort, but like the intensity and the willing to do things that, are out of your comfort zone, that he's not really willing to go there that much. And then he's wearing all that weird looking shit. And it's kind of like, it's easy to get on the guy, right? And you can see why he takes criticism. I don't know why you'd open yourself up to criticism, but again, I'm not from that generation, but his injury history does concern me.
I would say, and also like, fuck, man, he lugged a lot of miles over the last, like, how many years has he been in the league? 8-9 years. He's not exactly a spring chicken anymore. So yeah. And I do find guys who have those enormous frames, they tend to wear down a little faster than guys who are water bugs out there. Like, Kyle Connor might be fucking 20 years in the league and still fucking moving around the way that he does. And I also don't want to come off as a hypocrite, because I'm one of those guys who I do enjoy fashion. I throw on different stuff sometimes, but I also understand that I wouldn't be the leader of a team. I wouldn't be a captain. I'd still be a fourth line peasant who's in the room as a jester before the game, probably with the wearing only thing but my purse around my horn, making the guys laugh or something. You know what I'm saying? So
There's a
it's
difference.
Yeah, it's different. We're in different situations. So I don't know if that is going to continue to evolve with quote unquote maturity, but and also you can't prevent the guy from being himself. But I agree with you. Like, they got no Lawton. Roy's still getting settled in. With Dakota Joshua's coming along, but would like to see more of a mean streak from him, given his
Tanev's
size.
been out.
And maybe that comes at the halfway point, because some guys are a little bit bored just 10, 15 games in the season. I don't know what they need to get their juices going, but I trust that Chief will help them find their identity, and they'll be in the same boat as last year.
And everybody said when they made these changes in the summertime, like, don't be surprised if they don't come out of the gates hot. This will be a feeling out process of figuring out who they are. It might take some time, have some patience, but it's Toronto. So for 5 games in, people are talking about, do we burn it down? It's like, fuck. I remind myself every day, this is October. They won the Atlantic last year. They had basically the same October.
Same record every year. 500 after 15 fucking games. Everybody wants to sell the farm.
There you go.
I do think that we're all old school and wore the black and gray suits, and we played when the salary cap was $30 million and bitched about how we wish we could wear whatever we wanted, and now we bitch that the guys get more freedom with it and the cap's at $120 million. So I think they're doing something right. Obviously, I agree with you guys. Like, going and doing a press conference after, I wouldn't want to be subjected to that, where you play like shit and you're wearing a tank top to the thing. But I think letting them see their personality has helped grow the league so much that they've kind of earned it.
No doubt. I'm playing devil's advocate, although I'm a priest
Dressed
right
as
now.
a priest.
But yeah, and it wasn't a knock. It's just like, I don't know, like, okay, like $2,000 Balenciaga sweater, and it's kind of got like a ribbon, like it's a Christmas present. I don't know. How did you guys feel about it?
Well, I couldn't pull that off.
Point though, like, Willie's got a YouTube channel now. I haven't checked it out, but like, there's going to be kids of that young generation who would not bother to come across the Leafs or Willie Nylander or hockey in general, except they stumble across his YouTube content and he's doing something cool, and they're like, Mom, I want to play hockey, or Mom, I want to go to a Leafs game or go to this autograph signing, strictly based on that. So to your point, like, it helps grow the game, and it's the new generation. And yeah, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. We're kind of the old guys now bitching at the young generation for doing it differently than we did.
Rosie, it's been a pleasure having you on, man. We're definitely
awesome.
going to do this again. Get you on and break down the Leafs and maybe the Atlantic a little bit throughout the season if you want to. But plug your show once more so the listeners know.
Yeah, Leafs
Bad
Morning
boys, bad
Take.
boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you, Rosie?
Wherever you
I'm gonna
want
come for
to
you.
listen to your podcast and stuff, YouTube, Leafs Nation 401. We're every day at 11 a.m., 5 days a week. Leafs Morning Take. Me and Alberga kind of break it down. So, yeah, we have lots of fun for it. Jump on it if you're a Leafs fan. And even if you're not, maybe we'll convert you.
You did dodge the Mitch question, but that's okay. We'll find out.
Did I
We'll get
dodge
you on
it?
next time.
I'll tell you. All right, let's get into Mitch next time. You can pull the clips from my rant again, middle of a golf trip on that one, but don't regret it.
All right. See you, Rosie.
No regrets.
See ya, boys.
See you, Rosie.
Guys, we got to talk about Game Time. Who doesn't love being in person for an incredible NHL game? See the speed, see the action, see the physicality right in person. Game Time helps with that. There's nothing like the start of hockey season or being at a game in person. The first blast of cold air as you walk into the arena and the roar of the crowd after a big hit or a breakaway goal is electric. But getting there can be a real pain. It's another story. Queues, price jumps, getting logged out mid-click. All you want is to be there, beer in hand, losing your voice with the crowd. The Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. G just used Game Time to go on Saturday to see the Bruins play the Carolina Hurricanes for $74. November 1st, Carolina at Boston, $74. G's in the house. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Chiclets for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHICLETS for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app now. Thank you so much to Jay Rosehill. Awesome interview. Great guy. Cool story, too. Fireman right now, covering the Leafs. Just an awesome dude. You could tell. I wish I got the chance to play with him. It's time for the second segment of RA's World. Let's go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to RA's World here on the Spittin Chiclets podcast. Boys, I was so fired up when I realized we were going to have a Halloween episode. It's been a few minutes. I know you're probably wondering who I am. We'll get some guesses in a minute. Just want to get last Monday's app real quick. Boys, I appreciate the kind words you had for me. It was very nice. It was really emotional. And Keith, I just wanted to say thank you to you as well for acknowledging my mom. She's worked in the recovery community for years. She's retired now, and I talk about my dad over here, all the lives he saved as a fireman, but my mom probably saved just as many as a substance abuse counselor working on that field. So thanks for that, Keith. But now we got to give some guesses. What's my costume? Chucky?
No.
From, Child's Play? Nope.
No, I've actually seen this movie.
I've no
seen
clue what you are.
You look unbelievable with hair.
With
already.
hair, I know.
Man,
Dude. You might
I
need
go
to get
chat
away.
with this on tonight.
No, we should send you what Donnie does for
R.A.
Bald
Bieber.
Stool season 2. If you want to get a full weave of hair. But just going back to your first episode, RA, you were electric. You sounded incredible. People were obviously very happy for you, and you deserve everything that you, the praise as far as you got online and in the Spittin Chiclets community, buddy. Everybody's really proud of you for the turnaround, and we are so fired up to have you back. Now, going to your costume, it was a girl was in the movie. And the person that you are, I believe, was her imaginary friend. Was it not?
No, actually, the movie where I'm from, I don't think I think there's one female in the whole movie. It's one of the characters' mothers. So
What error?
the movie came out in 1986. It's a renowned classic. It's a bit of an obscure character, as you would expect from me. It's one of the best coming of age movies ever made. I mean, you've all seen it.
Goonies?
Nope. Good. It's set in the 1950s. It's got a classic song.
No. I was going to say Hoosiers.
Outsiders? No.
It's a hard knock life for us. No?
Not Annie. No, this would be Red Hair Jr. if I was Annie. Let me see. Okay, what one of the Barstool, Pod Might Take, one of the biggest guys on Pod Might Take is one of the stars of this movie as well.
PFD commenter?
Jerry O'Connell?
I'm sorry, Pod Might Take. It's one of the biggest.
Yep. Stand By Me.
Yep. Which character? But now who am I?
Are you the
kid who
dead
gets
guy?
stung by bees?
The train knocked me out of my kids like it knocked the life out of my body. Ray Brower, the dead kid from Stand By Me. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I just
Kind
said
of
the
a
kid who
dark
got stung by
costume.
bees. Wasn't that a different movie?
Yeah, that was my girl with Macaulay Culkin and Anna Chalumsky. Yeah.
All right. What made you decide that? It's kind of a dark costume.
That's all right
definitely
right
is.
there. Dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's me to a T, exactly what. I don't know if I was watching. I mean, I watch it every few months. One of those movies I watch all the time just because it's so good. And I don't know, it just came to me, and, I haven't dressed up. Like, the ex wasn't a big Halloween person, so I haven't dressed up much. I think the last time was when I was Randall P. McMurphy, the last show we dressed up. So it came to me. I went online. I got the wig, the fake blood. And this is the key, the kids. Well, they're Bobo kids, but, he got knocked out of his sneakers, and, I thought it was a pretty cool idea. So, yeah, I'm Ray Brow from Stand By Me.
How many people that you've seen, or did you just get dressed up before the pod?
Just put this on a little while ago. I've been sitting here with my wig and blood on, waiting for you guys.
What do you think? He was walking around town?
People
I don't
might
know,
not
it's
get it.
fucking Halloween week.
But,
I know
no,
he's not a big birthday week guy, but maybe he's a big Halloween week guy.
All right. What do you think the percentage of people seeing you will get that costume?
I was going to say, do you view it as a success if you walk around and that's your Halloween costume and not one person guesses it?
I think probably maybe 25%, maybe 20%. It'll be mostly dudes because Stand By Me, girls have seen it, but I would say it's more of a teenage boy movie. It's like when I dressed up as Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver a few years ago. I went to 2 or 3 parties. I when I still had hair, gave myself a mohawk, and not one woman at any party knew who I was. Every fucking dude knew I was Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver. So yeah, I don't go by everyone has to know it like to be a good costume. I just think like obscure, and when you laugh when you see it, that's the payoff right there for me.
No,
so.
I actually think like kind of the opposite. I think that if nobody got it, you would feel like, yes, like it was different. It was obscure.
Right.
Now we have posted it in real time on Twitter. So I'm interested to know by the time this ends in 15, 20 minutes, how many people have guessed what you are. But awesome job, buddy. And any plans for the weekend?
Nothing right now. I was kind of hoping, I mean, I'm sure there's a party. I'm old, man. I don't get invited to the parties like I'm a young buck anymore. But it is Friday night. I mean, if I go out, I kind of feel obligated just to wear it, even if I just go to the tavern, because, everybody and their mother's going to be dressed up. And, I mean, I only spent a few bucks for the costume. But, yeah, I probably will dress up and just go out just for shits and giggles. But, I love
you
Halloween.
You could just pour beers in the shoes, too, and just drink them out of the Converse.
Shoeies.
Yeah, they're nice and clean anyway. So, yeah, it was fun. I sent it to a couple of my cousins and a few of my buddies, and they were struggling to come up with it, too. I mean, because you don't really see this much hair on the dude when he's dead staring up at the sky. One of my buddies goes, "Is that your last photo from Edmonton?" Shout out to Radar for that.
Does
one.
the guy in the movie have not one line because he's dead?
No, not at all. They find him at the end, and he's sitting there, like, dead as Dylan, just staring off into space. And that's it. Just a little obscure character.
So no one's getting it.
No one's getting it. No.
So when did that click in your head? Did you watch it recently?
Yeah, I think, it came in my head, and I kind of said, well, that's a good Halloween costume. But this was like probably months ago. And then when I realized, we're going to be, filming having a Halloween drop, and I bought all the shit, and, we could have not even been doing this. They would have been like, hey, we're scrapping Halloween, but I says, I got to wear this somewhere. So, yeah.
Before we get into RA's world, hockey-wise, anything stand out to you since the last episode, the Frozen Frenzy? Like, what's the one thing that you were like, that is what I want to talk about?
The Anaheim Ducks are going to be a playoff team this year. I have no doubt about that. I think Brand Quenvillin was huge for them. I mean, they've had, you go back to Zegras, man. I mean, he's one of these younger kids. He's probably a little bit on the more sensitive side than guys 20 years ago. And he had to deal with, Bob Murray and Greg Cronin and Pat Verbeek. I mean, those are, good guys these 2 or 3 of them are good guys at their job, but they're hard asses, man. And I think it was a tough environment for that kid to work in. And I think bringing in Quenneville, who's, been out of the game for a couple of days, I think he has the perfect touch for that team. They got some incredible talent there. And I think Joe Stahl is going to be a great number one goalie. You think he's got a good
touch for Zegras?
No, I'm saying he's
not on it.
Quenneville probably would have been good for Zegras. I'm saying that there was a lot of hard asses running the show in Anaheim, and I think Quenneville, not that he can't be a hard ass, I think, maybe a few years away from the game, maybe, he knows how to maybe deal with these younger kids a little bit better. But Anaheim,
I was just
playoffs.
confused because I was like, I thought he got dealt to Philly, but I get what you're saying. I'm
saying, like, in other words, I think Quenneville is probably a little bit, and again, I know he could be a tough coach, but a little bit more of maybe a softer touch for these guys. Maybe, Cronin was a hot ass like Whit had talked about, and, Verbeek is the general manager, but those are guys with like sort of brusque personality. So I think Quenneville's been huge for him. I think Joe Stahl is going to be a number one goal if he's not already. And, Leo Carlson, I mean, we interviewed him a couple of years ago at the draft. This kid is going to be a superstar. He just keeps getting better every year. And Mason McTavish, absolute fucking throwback. Kid could have played in the 70s and the 80s. So, yeah.
Anaheim did you see McTavish's shootout goal the other night?
Yeah.
That was sick.
I'm wondering if people are going to start because, I mean, he does get a little slow. I mean, you're supposed to have forward momentum all the time.
I know.
And I think goalies might, stop maybe, rightfully maybe complaining because it's like, all right, he's not maybe going forward progress at a certain point. But yeah, it's a nasty move, and he's been beating the shit out of them too. So,
do you think Joe Stahl will be the starter for Czech in the Olympics?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who would you put before him right now. I mean, this kid's stuck in. Dobish is Czech too, isn't he? Montreal. I think he might be Czech. That kid, he could probably give him some competition. But also, Pasha calling saying Columbus, the bad team the other day. Come on, Posh, get your head out of here.
He's a fucking idiot.
Donkey,
he's a moron.
He's a fucking idiot.
He's
we can all agree on that.
They always play hard, all the time. I think they're just on the cusp of the playoff spot right now. And it's funny to be talking about playoffs, but we know that stat at Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, which is as late as it could be this year, the 28th of November. So what is it, 70, 75%?
The 27th this year.
Yeah,
but
that does the 28th. But I suck at math.
Going back to your point, though, about like, I feel like, and Jans, you played for Quenneville, like he's stern when he has to be, but it definitely is a player coach and knows how to like develop young players. He did it obviously in Chicago with that core group and how they showed growth throughout that time. There was a cool clip of him and Leo Carlson on the bench after Leo made this like really nice play and he went down all the way to the bench and he's like, hey, pretty decent, eh? Like to like, just show him some love. And like a guy of that stature, like going and just kind of joke around with a young player like that, I think it means a lot. And it
shows
the players that he's got confidence in you and and he wants to befriend you rather than just being like, hey, I'm this 3-4 time Stanley Cup winner and I'm the boss around here. Kind of maybe the way it was being ran before, but minus the cups.
No, he looks more stern than he is. Like, he's hard on what he wants you to do every game, like what he expects out of you. But like you said, I remember one time in Detroit, I made a pass and he comes down and the same exact thing. He's like, "That's the fucking best pass I've ever seen." Like, little things like that just like make you feel good, especially from a guy like that. And I can only imagine for a young kid like that to hear that from Q. But you can tell that he was a player for as long as he was, and then a coach. He's a player's coach. He knows what it takes to be a coach that guys respect and fear a little bit. But I think he's the perfect fit for that group.
I think, positive reinforcement. I think that's huge, especially like you said with these younger guys. It was always negative for so long, and I think that's not particularly healthy, and it doesn't work with guys. But yeah, the positive stuff. I think you get more. You get guys who are going to give you more effort because you're telling them they're doing good when they're doing good, and as long as you're not blowing smoke up their ass. So, also 2 teams I try to make sure, Biz, I watch all the time. Montreal, I know I'm a Boston guy, but that team is so entertaining to watch. Cole Caufield, what he's doing. I mean, he's already got the overtime goal record for the Canadians. Like, that's insane. And the Sharks, I know they've been struggling a little bit, but Macklin Celebrini, I had predictions. I didn't end up getting to them because we started a little bit late, but I said he's going to break the 90-point barrier this year. And what this kid's doing at 19, he's going to be a perennial Selke and Hart Trophy candidate. So, yeah, that's what I've been watching. And Biz, I know you mentioned...
He had a no-look pass to Smith Tuesday night that was gross.
Like, they have real, Taves and Kane potential with. Yeah, they could be the next version of those guys.
And RA, going back to the Caufield in Montreal, entering tonight, this is a tweet from yesterday or the day before. This is from Jazz, Statman Jazz. Yes. Entering tonight, everyone with 11 career OT goals played in at least 515 career games. This was Cole Caufield's 298th career game.
Wow.
So he beat it by just over 200 games. So pretty impressive from the young guy, especially in a year where he's trying to crack that Olympic squad.
As they say, Biz, Banana Lands. Biz, I know you mentioned the Snow Bowl and Tuck Rule talking about Gruden. You're not going to be surprised, but I was actually at that game as well. I swear to God.
RA was on the sideline and kind of bumped into the ref. That's why he missed the call.
I was on Noah's Ark, too.
You're the Forrest Gump of sports.
RA,
He's got some snow in his freezer.
So my brother was at that game with my cousin, and nobody thought once that the fumble was picked up that there was even a chance of it getting reversed, right?
Right, exactly.
Like, everyone in the stands oh, it's over.
We were standing on the bleachers or the seats, and then Brady fumbled because it was a fumble, and hell of a season. No one thought the playoffs were going to happen.
Yeah.
We got off, started walking around. They're like, players under review. We're like, well, under review? What's that? They reversed the call. We got back on our seats, and what was crazy about that win? It was one of the most surreal events I've ever been to, sporting, concert, whatever. It never stopped snowing, but it wasn't frigid cold. It was just cold enough to snow, and everyone in there had like a half inch or an inch layer of snow on them, but nobody was frigid freezing. And then you couldn't see the fucking Vinatieri's tie-in field goal. You lost it in the fog, and the arms go up from the referee. It was just one of those games, man. You just always remember for the rest of the time. It was quite a game to be at.
That's awesome.
Again, back to last week, Keith. You also mentioned the Knights of Columbus. It's funny because with Coop, the boys all know he pops in, and we kind of keep it low. You like to protect guys' privacy, and then all of a sudden he reaches over and he grabs the membership card and holds it right to the freaking camera. All the boys were howling down the club. It was great. The boys loved the tribute, and also a little trivia too, Keith. The house, the council where it's Bunker Hill Council number 62. You know who the most famous member in our council is? He's no longer with us, but John Fitzgerald Kennedy. When he was a member of the Knights of Columbus, he was a member of the Bunker Hill Council number 62. Same as myself and Mr. Coop, future Hall of Famer. So, and one last thing, Keith, you also said, and I really it struck with me was telling your boys you love them because you get older and death becomes part of life, unfortunately, and you lose some of your best homies. And I got a good crew every time we leave each other. It's always I love you and stuff that guys maybe didn't do 15, 20 years ago. Definitely not our parents' generation. So it's pretty cool that you said that. And, that's why you got to go out and have good times and go to Halloween parties with the boys. So hopefully have some parties this weekend. And by the way, I don't know if you know your uncle Paul. He went as Muhammad Ali at my aunt's birthday Halloween party back in Woburn 40 years ago. They still talk about it. I mean, he probably get canceled for it now, but Uncle Paul, he dressed up as Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, or now on a podcast.
Yeah, well, they say about your Uncle Paul and my father, they went to a party in 1980 and come back in 1984, so that pretty much sums those
Funniest
stories up.
thing, Uncle Paul, he used to say that Spirit would end up paying him to fly down. Where was he going,
To
Keith?
Myrtle.
Beach.
He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they ended up paying me 8 cents one time. That's how good the deal was.
Keithy, you wouldn't fucking believe it. I got paid 8 quarters.
Absolute legend. But so yeah, let's jump into the Halloween stuff. I wrote.
Well, all right, before we get
sure.
there, it reminded me when you also the Internet Invitational. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that, but we forgot to mention off the hop. Obviously, some devastating news for the company and everyone who knew Beef. But he got to take the first shot, which was very poetic of the entire Internet Invitational, the way that things work out. And yeah, it was a pretty tough week for Barstool, but it's just some beautiful words for a very special man, whether it was the Foreplay podcast, which that was the hardest thing that they've ever had to do since establishing their brand, and many other amazing words across the company. Did you guys talk about it on the Unnamed show today, Whit?
Yes.
Yeah, so pretty cool. And I think that even if you're not a golf fan, and just go watch that and you'll know exactly why people feel the way that they did about Beef and how special of a human he was. So I just wanted to mention that as well.
And I like you said, Biz, Barstool is a family. I mean, it's fucked up. It's his functional family, but we do love each other.
Yeah.
We all take care of each other. And unfortunately, I didn't have the pleasure of meeting Beef, but I've seen the videos. I saw the Invitational, and he just conveyed sort of that Midwest class and nice guy that you always hear about. He always doffed his cap when he was meeting people, and I reached out to the Foreplay guys to convey my condolences and sympathies, and of course I do the same to Beef's family and friends, because it was just an awful, sad tragedy, and stuff we hate to see. So like you said, Keith, tell your boys you love them all the time when you see them, because you never know when it might be the last time. But now I got to ask you, is that a Frankenstein mask? I do got to.
You got it.
Yeah,
Figure, okay.
Frankenstein and
It's my
Shrek
Uncle
had
Mike.
a love child.
Should have. Then they took the more than after pill, but it didn't work. Holy shit! Sorry, did I do that?
No, that's good. That's good.
Oh, he's got a nice mane of flow now, and he's throwing out the chirps. I love it.
I got the confidence flowing with my fucking salad.
Unbelievable.
No, obviously Halloween. We'll talk about some Halloween movies. It's a scary time of year. It's weird how the Halloween movies and then all the gore. I'm dressed as a dead guy right now. But I was going to give my list of the scariest movies I've ever seen. You guys feel free to chime in, whatever. I'll get number one. It's a tie between Halloween, the original. I mean, Michael Myers. It's just absolute classic. In Psycho. Have you guys seen Psycho, the original?
I don't watch horror movies.
Okay.
Legit.
What about Biz? You ever see the original Psycho?
Is
No.
Psycho with Jack Nicklaus?
I know.
If Daniel Day-Lewis wasn't in it pumping oil, Biz hasn't seen it.
Fuck up.
No, it's an old one. It's Jamie Lee Curtis's mother, Janet Leigh. She's just a famous scene. She gets killed in the shower.
At the hotel?
At the hotel, yeah. The Bates Motel, yeah. I mean, it's what Hitchcock made. I believe it was 1960. It was crazy that he made a movie like that. That people were horrified. It kind of changed horror movies forever. So I got a tie between Halloween and Psycho. Number two, probably the scariest movie ever, even if it's not number one, The Exorcist. With Linda Blair. I know it's an old, but I'm an old fuck, so I see these old movies.
That.
The girl who gets possessed
That's when
by
the
the
girl's
devil.
head turns around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've
She says
seen
some
that
pretty
scene.
Rocket puking.
She says some things that
Like
Biz
Jay
probably says
Rosehill.
in the bedroom when he's having fun, but we won't repeat them on the podcast right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She was fucking. Yeah. She was giving a verbal licking.
She was getting at it Biz style.
Yeah. She was rocket puking like Jay Rosehill with.
Yeah. They used pea soup for the fake puke. A little trivia for you there, Biz.
Oh.
Yeah, a little bit. Next up, the Omen. The original one, another one. Little kid, he's the child of the devil, and he gets adopted by this family, and they have no idea. And all of a sudden, people just start dropping like flies around him, and the father kind of figures it out. Just a absolute, horror movie from the 70s. Still scares the shit out of me. Number four, I think this is the one you were just talking about. You mentioned Jack Nicklaus, the golfer. I think you meant Jack Nicholson, the actor in The Shining. When him, his wife, and his kid, they go to a secluded hotel to babysit it for the winter, and Jack Nicholson proceeds to go absolutely crazy instead of writing his book. And it's just one of the best performances ever in any horror movie. Like, there's actually a cool video, Biz, online of Nicholson getting psyched up because he has to smash the fucking door in with the axe, and he's getting all revved up. Like, it's almost like he's getting ready for a playoff game or something. Guys in the hallway beating each other up and shit. And the last
All right,
one,
quickly.
yeah.
Sorry,
Please.
sorry to
No.
interrupt. Has a horror movie ever won like Oscar Best Picture?
It'd be The Shining, if any.
The Shining, I don't think it was nominated. No, horror's always kind of gotten dissed by the Academy. I don't know if people are scared of it or if it goes to place they don't want. But well, this year we might have a horror nominee, which I'm going to get to in a little bit.
All right, sorry.
Please do.
Was he a big time actor before he did that movie?
Nicholson?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was.
He was already established. Okay.
Yeah,
I saw a hilarious tweet of Jack Nicholson. He won an award at an award show, and he was so smothered he couldn't accept it. And he called up Robin Williams, and he did his speech for him.
That's why Robin Williams is up there?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Well,
that's
it's
incredible.
Funny you mentioned that. Back to you, Keith. He was a well-established star. I mean, Chinatown was a huge hit, and he won Best Actor for that. And when he won, he was filming One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is the movie that really put him into the stratosphere. And he accepted the award on the set of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with all the fucking lunatic like co-stars around him. It's a classic Oscar clip. And then the last one, yeah.
Fishy says right here, Silence of the Lambs won Best Picture in '91. I don't consider that a horror movie though. It's like a scary thriller, but not
psychological
horror.
thriller. I agree with you. I mean, you can put it in the horror section at a video store, but I think it's more of a psychological thriller. But good call by Fishy though. And this list, if you ask me in a week, it'll probably change. But I got one for you. A lot of you probably haven't heard of. It's called Train to Busan. It's a Korean zombie movie. And I was out on zombie movies like years ago, and I put this on, and it's obviously subtitled. It's one of the best zombie movies you ever see. It actually has like a lot of heart to it. I know that sounds kind of weird for a zombie flick, but definitely check those out. A couple more if you're looking for something to watch over the weekend. American Werewolf in London, a classic. Shaun of the Dead. It's kind of a horror comedy. The Sixth Sense is another one, of course. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, all that stuff. But here's a fucking crazy thing with Nightmare on Elm Street. You've seen it probably back in the day. Freddy Krueger, he invades the dreams of these high school kids. That was actually inspired by an actual events, the Nightmare on Elm Street. This is kind of crazy. Wes Craven, who directed it, he said he read an article in the LA Times about a family who escaped the killing fields in Cambodia, managed to get to the U.S. Things were fine, but the youngest son was sleep. Every time he went to sleep, he was having disturbing nightmares. He would stay up for days at a time. He said, if I go to sleep, this thing would get me if I go to sleep. Finally, he fell asleep. The parents heard him screaming. They walked in the room in the middle of the night. He was dead. He died in the middle of a nightmare. He was just having this vision, this horror thing, and that's where Wes Craven got the idea for it. And the thing he described, it wasn't an isolated incident. It wasn't one person. Dozens of Southeast Asian refugees in America died for unknown reasons in their sleep during the 1980s. The mysterious deaths were usually among young men in their 20s and 30s from the Hmong ethnic group, which you probably know from the Clint Eastwood movie, Gran Torino, his neighbors in that movie. It affected a large enough segment of this population to alarm public health experts. So this crazy ailment,
These are the types of fun facts we need from the rear, man.
Shit.
Yeah, like you watch.
I'm definitely not watching it now.
Yeah. Really, you watch Freddie Crow, of course. That's fake, but then it was based on like actual events that Wes Craven thought of.
All right, I hate to do this. I have to get going because we have a broadcast tonight. We got Dallas against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Incredible RA's world. I'm sure you guys will talk for a few more minutes here, but. Love the outfits, boys, and I love you.
Great seeing you, buddy.
I love you guys.
Love you, dude.
I love you too, bro.
That's my Ray Bra. See you, Biz. I was gonna find. Well, this one was actually the Biz. What a little trivia. This is more well known. It's a little more fun. The Michael Myers mask actually has like roots in Canada. Do you know the origin of this story?
I'm guessing it was like a goalie type mask, right?
No, it was a William Shatner Star Trek mask. And they got it, and they cut the eyes out bigger, and they painted it white. So the Michael Myers mask, that's actually William Shatner from a Star Trek mask. That's
really?
Yeah. And they ordered a shitload of them from the company that made them. So, they had to use them throughout the movie. So, yeah, they cut out the eyes, made them bigger, and painted it white. So that's actually William Shatner that you're looking at in fucking Halloween. Pretty crazy stuff. Well, I was going to ask the boys, I don't know how long the last time you saw any horror movies was, but which horror movie definitely the worst way to go? I was dying for Biz to answer this, but I know he had to run.
The one that creeps me out the most is that Final Destination movie, like where, remember those? Like they saw their deaths before it happened, and that would be a tough way to go.
And they'd get out, and then they'd all got somehow. Yeah, I've seen.
It's like they were swimming in the pool, and then like the suction thing would grab them. It was fucked up. So that would be a tough one to go. Scariest movie for me is The Hills Have Eyes. You ever see that, RA?
Oh yeah, the original with
I hate that.
with the dude from the Motley Crue video with no hair, the crazy dude. Yeah, that they redid that one I think a few years ago, but redo suck. What about you, Whit? What's your favorite go-to horror?
I really haven't seen like any horror movies, so I don't know. Fuck, I know this is kind of disappointing. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I mean, if we want to go Silence of the Lambs, it's probably Buffalo Bill having you in the hole in his basement.
Oh
Yeah.
Put the fucking lotion in the basket. That would be absolute. I mean, that's why it feels like a horror movie. But
Yeah.
I mean, at least she did escape. Mine is actually from I guess you'd call it a Western horror. It's called Bone Tomahawk. Kurt Russell's in it. It's a fucking insane movie. I'm not sure. I'm sure it's streaming the usual spots right now. It's a woman gets kidnapped from a local Western jail. It's set like the 1800s, and they go in to try to find it. And there's this native tribe. But they take things to the next level, and there's a gruesome death. They stand the guy upside down and basically just fucking split him right down the middle. It's like probably one of those gruesome scenes I've ever seen. But terrific movie. If you're looking for like a Western / horror, not too many of those out there. So, speaking of movies, and
Actually,
TV,
probably I think right now of the movie. I think is it A Silent Place?
Oh yeah,
that movie?
with what's his name from The Office.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's called A Silent Place. It might be a different name, but like if there ends up being zombie monsters out there at any point in this world, like I'm probably taking my own. Yeah, like I'm not going down at the hands of like a zombie monster.
Yeah, it is interesting, those zombie movies, like whether you're gonna, like your will to live, does that exceed? You're like, okay, I don't want to get eaten to death by these goddamn things. All right, boys, I'm gonna start a new feature here. I'm gonna do it every week. I'm the old school guy. I love old movies, old TV shows, and I'm gonna do a classic recommendation. It'll be a weekly segment. It could be a TV show.
I like this, RA. I like
buddy.
it.
Thank you. It could be a movie from back in the day. But it's this isn't like willy-nilly so I could check a box off. This is like a movie or a show that means a lot to me. And I'll tell you, like one thing I love to do is share what I watch, what I really like. And when people come back to me and say they loved it, man, it gives you a good feeling. You like to spread the love about something. That exact thank you. It was kind of funny. He kind of gave me the most accidental PR ahead of time last week.
Yeah.
When we were first started becoming pals, he'd reach out for recommendations all the time. And thanks, Coop, for that blast. So I'm going to kick it off with. It's probably the biggest cliche to kick off a recommendation with this, but it's the perfect movie to do so. And it's Casablanca, okay? It's a 1942 romantic World War II drama that was actually filmed and released during World War II. Stars Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman. It's often regarded one of the finest American films ever. It's known for the timeless quotes, play it, Sam, of all the gin joints and all the towns and all the world. I'm shocked gambling's going on. I know they're like memes and stuff. But listen, this movie it's an all-timer. It definitely gets 5 warthogs on my scale, 1 to 5 warthogs. It's on HBO. You can stream it. Listen, put your phone down, take an hour and 42 minutes out of your life, lock in and watch Casablanca with your girlfriend, by yourself, with whoever. It's legit a fantastic movie. It's funny. It still holds up, and I can't recommend it enough. Gee, Mr. Bacon, what you got for us?
Yeah, I just want to ask, RA, like for the younger generation, like my people, like these black and white old movies, I just can't do it. Like, I can't do it.
Just
so what is your message?
Though.
It's
Give
a
it
classic.
chance.
It's one of those movies you have to see.
Like how come? And what is it that like? Is it just a mental block? Like, oh, this is old and I don't want to see it. Is it? I mean, is it just as simple as
and
that?
I've tried.
You've never watched It's a Wonderful Life at Christmas? Black
The
and
Wizard of Oz?
No, I've watched parts of it. But like halfway through, I'm just like, this is so boring. This sucks. I want to be into it, boys. I want to.
So, dude, that's why I said, sit down, lock in, put and I know we all do this. Like, we all put shit on and play with these. Well, put that down, lock in, and just watch it. Just make yourself watch it, man. It's such a classic, well-made film. The script is unbelievable. It's funny. It's romantic. Like your girl will like it if she watches you. It's just one of the like legit best movies ever. So I promise you, if you watch it, you won't regret spending the time with it. So Casablanca is my first classic recommendation. Give it a whirl. Again, it's on HBO, and I'm curious to see what people who do watch it have to say about it. So moving over to the NHL, there's a cool little story I saw. There was a rec league goalie at Chelsea Piers, on the Hudson River in Manhattan. A lot of teams practiced there in the town if MSG is booked. So last November, the Sharks were practicing with Ryan Wasowski, and they invited a 65-year-old rec league goalie, Harold Robinson, to come in and take some shots at the San Jose practice. This guy, he's fighting around. They're sharing a locker room. Hey, come on out, see some shots. The guy loved it. It was a pretty big memory for him. So San Jose was at MSG again last week. They had a nice little reunion with Hal. They had a shirt for him. They signed it and stuff. And I just thought it was just, one of those like cool things why we love hockey, man. This.
Oh, a guy's dream come true. That's incredible.
And it got them their first win too. That's good karma.
Yeah, exactly, man. It was just a cool story. Like I said, this guy's 65. He's at Chelsea PS all the time. As a goalie, he just loves to get in, get the sweat, and it was cool that he met up. But then again, they signed all his shirts. But another thing too, with the Sharks were in town, they went and saw the Book of Mormon. And I guess Revo's the ringleader for these Broadway shows. Now, you've seen a few shows, Keith, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I've seen them all, yeah. Book of Mormon's my top 3. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I've read 2 different articles. I DM'd Revo, but I didn't hear back. One story said he saw it 7 times. The other said 17 times. But either way, shout out to Revo for bringing these boys and getting some culture. I mean, we don't go down to New York like we used to with, but every time we went down, if I had a free afternoon or a night, I'd love to go. I always went to a show. You go to the tickets thing, get half off, and see a Broadway show. It's really, even if you didn't grow up with it or you think whatever, you had thoughts when you were in high school, whatever, it's incredible to see the skill, especially if it's a musical, the choreography, the athleticism, just everybody in cohesion. It's all these moving parts. It's impressive as hell to go to a Broadway show.
We went,
shout out Revo.
Before Cal was born, we did like a little baby moon to New York City. And we went to An Enemy of the People, which was starring Jeremy Strong, the guy from Succession.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And, it was incredible. It was my first real Broadway show. Well, I had fallen asleep at one because I had taken muscle relaxers because I hurt my neck at Book of Mormon, so I didn't really count that. I was front row too, so it was absolutely embarrassing scene. My wife was furious, so we went back. Enemy of the People. I don't even know if it's still on Broadway, but it was really cool. It was like, you're right, like to see how they're doing it and how intense they are within the show. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, good stuff. So if you're in New York, and like I said, there's that booth, it's tickets, it's called, right in Times Square. And, matinees, you can get half off, get some nice tickets, go see a good show. So, yeah, shout out to Revo for getting those boys cultured.
I just went to Hamilton a couple of weeks ago. They did the couple of the people from the original cast were back and took the kids and the wife. It was unbelievable. And they rapped the entire time. Like, I don't understand how they can remember it. The choreography with dancing. They're also moving the stage around. Like, there's so much shit going on. Like, you get, it's almost like us with like singers and like, you just have such a different like perspective. But yeah, it's like, it's unbelievable that they can do that.
And, you see one show and you're like, holy shit, like they must be exhausted, blah, blah, blah. And then, wake up next day, boom, do it again. I mean, they're doing 6, 7, 8 shows a week sometimes. Matinees, it's absolutely crazy. So yeah, again, hats off to the Broadway crew and again, Revo for taking those boys out. Moving along to my picks last week, a small profit if you did tail me. I had Tampa Bay in regulation only on Saturday, but I gave half of that back on the puck line. I did say San Jose, if they lost at MSG Thursday, to bet them Friday, but they did win at MSG, so there was no action there. So small profit on the hockey. But this week, tonight, Friday, I like Anaheim at home. I just mentioned I think they're a playoff team, minus 135 versus Detroit, who's been playing well, and they're probably going to start John Gibson. There could be a little revenge factor there. But I like Anaheim. I think they're going to have a nice boost after that nice road trip they had. So we're going to take the Ducks minus 135, and we're going to take half that wager. Say you put 500 in, and I put 250 on the Ducks, minus 1.5, plus 185. I don't think
most people are putting 500 on the game, but
I'm just that was just a simple number. That's all. Yeah, half your money line wager on the puck line, and we don't have lines for Saturday yet, but we're going to be jumping on Dallas. They're going to be at Florida. Dallas again. I think they're playing well. Florida missing a couple guys, obviously, so I don't know the line, but it shouldn't be too high if Dallas is on the road. So Dallas on Saturday over Florida. And the NFL last week, I should have just put it on Buffalo. I said they were going to roll. They smoked Carolina easily, and they had the Giants versus Philly in a small money line play. So lost a couple bucks there, but overall, like I said, a small profit on the week. But this weekend, Carolina, they're getting 13.5 at Green Bay. Somehow the Panthers are still in the playoff chase to the NFC. That's a lot of points. I would buy it up to 14 or 14.5 if you can, and throw, say, 20% of your play on the money line at plus 700. I think Carolina is going to give them a game. And finally, Cincy is at home versus Chicago, getting 3 points. I think what's his name? Oh God, Flacco. I think Joe Flacco has rejuvenated this team. The Bengals aren't dead either. They need this win to keep hope alive. So take the 3 points if you want. Buy it up to 3.5, and also throw a money line play on it for 20% of your original play at 130. So Carolina,
I like the over in that game. Cincy's D's a nightmare.
Yeah, and Chicago's been giving up a lot of points. So, gee, what do we got, buddy?
I was going to say before we wrap the show, we do have the picture of RA's movie character. We found it. So here it is. Not bad.
Wow, the shirt is incredible.
Perfect.
He did pretty good.
All right.
Oh, he did amazing.
look, he's
I just
playing
don't
him
think
right
anyone's
now.
going to know it.
Wow.
Ray Brown,
all
but
right.
yeah, the blood, the wig was kind of covering some of the good blood up here, but yeah, the flannel, the blood, the wig.
The green coach kind of looks like the leaves too. Like that's fucking.
I went full method here, Keith, for my Halloween costume. So no, I appreciate it, boys. You put a little effort into it. It's nice to hear the record.
All right. We appreciate you coming back on. Solid RA's World, number
Thanks,
2.
buddy. Yep.
Unreal.
That was a great show. Thank you to Jay Rosehill. Thank you to RA.
Shout out Rosie.
Yeah, check out RA's picks this weekend, NHL, NFL, and one final thing. We do still want to promote the breast cancer awareness merch we have for 540.org. That's the website, and you can get that at store.barstoolsports.com. So everyone, thank you for listening.
I do have a little news on that, Whit. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. November is Hockey Fights Cancer Month. So we're running it back. We're keeping it on sale for November.
There we go.
We'll keep buying. Everyone out there, keep buying some merch, and let's buy some ladies some more wigs.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
So everyone, have an awesome weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out the Game Notes guys. They did a great show Wednesday. Have a great weekend. We love y'all.
Love you,
Stand
boys.
by me.
Why'd I say y'all? See you guys.